What's up? We're back. Week 1 of the NCAA Tournament. Nearly finished. Last game of the day, last game of Sunday. Arizona, TCU yet to be completed. The rest of the Sweet 16 is set. We have been worn down. We're absolute shells of ourselves.
I've never been more exhausted from doing nothing in my life.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. I feel like shit, and at the same time, I'm sad that it's over.
I watched roughly every game.
I definitely watched a part of every single game.
Give or take every single game.
I don't know what the math is on how many games that is.
Well, there's 64 teams in the field. Well, if you count in the first.
I watched I watched parts of all 4 of the first 4 games as well.
So 32 in the first round.
Yeah.
And then 16 in the second round.
Yeah.
And then the 2. So, a lot of games.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot.
40? Or, yeah.
Almost 50.
50, yeah.
48? 50?
Well, you count the 2. I'm counting the 2. It's an even 50?
Yeah. 50 games. I'm an animal. That's the only place to come for your takes. Today's episode, we're going to be breaking down all of said games that we watched. And
every one of them.
Every single one, game by game, painstaking detail, the bad ones, the good ones, the 116 matchups. All of them are getting broken. Just kidding. Going to give some thoughts, going to give some breakdown, going to just, give a state of the union on the NCAA tournament. And then the bracket for today's episode. Best players of the 21st century. Who's it going to be? Who you got? Comment down below. Whenever we get to that point, let us know who we left out. Let us know where we fucked up.
If Mike Tisdale isn't in the bracket, we riot.
We'll just have to wait and see.
That's called a tease. Any non-individual game topics you want to talk about? First thing I want to talk about, I don't mean to be like high school dad or like maybe even like grandma, but like why is every ref just poor at their job?
I do think a big thing that it seems across
not
the
even
thing.
Like my team got screwed, just like innocent third party watching it. They're just all not very good. And I really try to give them credit when it's like a pretty good job. It's just so rare. Like I hate being it was the ref's fault guy, but it's been really bad.
Yeah, I can't say I can remember any specific games where the outcome was linked to what the refs did. I mean, at some point it always kind of is, but
yeah, there was no like egregious end of game thing.
For example, we just got done watching Purdue, Texas, and Texas shot like 13 free throws. Purdue shot like 47 free throws or something like that.
They shot at least 30 more free throws than them, which is
a
product of how they play.
But at the same time, 45 free throws in a game, you got to get the game under control at some point, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Of course, the technical in the Illinois game, egregious. There's been many.
That's one of the worst calls you'll ever see. One of the worst calls you'll ever see. A lot of people had some problem with the Gonzaga-Memphis game. Said the referees were not great in that one. One of the most egregious ones was the UNC-Baylor game. Baylor obviously played great and made a great comeback. UNC-Baylor.
Which call?
I mean, they just didn't call a foul on Baylor.
Just the lack of.
Yeah, they just didn't call a foul on Baylor the last 10 minutes of that game. That entire comeback.
They're down 25, and they just.
They put it in the call, and they're like, okay, we need Baylor to come back in this game. We need them to not lose in the round of 32.
And they just mauled the shit out of them.
It was bizarre seeing UNC being on the shit end of that stick. You would usually expect UNC to be the beneficiary of that type of thing.
Yeah. It's been... So we bet on a lot of these games, size, totals, whatever.
Almost all of them for me.
I don't advise that. But it's fun.
It's kind of fun.
It's been a very low-scoring tournament so far.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of egregious, like 50 to 45 type of games.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of high-scoring games later tonight. A lot of talk about this ball they're using.
It's very orange.
Does each conference use their own ball? How does
as far as I know, each team individually, whenever they're at home, gets to use whichever ball they choose. So usually, whatever your shoe contract is, like Illinois uses a Nike ball,
'Cause they have I see.
Yeah, Villanova uses a Nike ball. Kansas uses an Adidas ball. So it's just team to team, whatever.
And this is just
the home team is.
NCAA uniform
no
basketball.
Team, yeah.
It's very orange. I assume no other team is like, this is our home ball. Like that's.
I don't know. Some teams, this is a Wilson ball, and some teams use Wilson balls. I don't know if it's this specific Wilson ball, but
it appears to be extremely inflated, quite bouncy.
Yeah, there's a lot of difficulty dribbling.
Difficult, yeah, and a lack of shots going in. Like
it seems very hit or miss. I mean, because it is just a feel thing. It seems like some teams are shooting incredibly well, and other teams are shooting much lower than you would anticipate.
It feels like overall it's a little low.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Little ball talk.
Yeah. So as far as the refs, I think the bigger issue is just the rules and the way they're told to officiate these games in college in general probably needs some changes. You and me are very anti-charge. I think the charge is one of the stupider plays in basketball.
Yeah.
In my opinion, getting in someone's way while they're up in the air and then falling down is not a good basketball play.
No.
I would much rather see you just go straight up and defend them rather than just flop on the ground. And as it stands, with the rules the way they are, you should try and take charges. I'm not taking that away from you. It is like, a good play on your end.
It's called, so you're encouraged to take charges.
Exactly. And I think
it's not like a 50, like their referees are being told to call charge, like it's being rewarded.
Yeah, it is one of the stupider plays in any sport, in my opinion. I think it's just a skillless fucking nothing play, and I get it, it's hustle, you lay your body on the line, I guess, but to me it's just takes the talent out of the equation, kind of.
Yeah. Just guard him.
Yeah, just guard him instead. The game would be more fun. There would be less stoppages. There would be less fouls. There would be less free throws.
People sitting because of fouls.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. The amount of charges that are affecting games is silly to me. It's very stupid. Basketball in general, a rule that we always say should be changed is on a shot clock. On a shot clock violation, when it comes off the rim and the defense gets the ball, the play shouldn't stop. We should just play on.
Yes. We compared it to in like soccer, if there is a foul and your team still has they play advantage, your team still has the ball and is attacking, you don't have to take the foul. You just continue to, in basketball, you would continue to be out on the break and the game would still flow and you wouldn't have to take it out. It makes no sense. It's a little bit of a gray area on when you would call it, like what you would deem, but that's just up to the ref, and you just trust them to
sometimes the ref will fuck that up.
Let the game flow.
I'll take that risk.
Yes, 100%. The flow is so much better if you're allowed to. You're rewarding the team that had an awful possession, took a bad shot, couldn't hit the rim, and then now they get to set up their defense.
Correct.
And the other team has to be side out. And they get to come back. It's just a reward for taking a bad shot, having a bad possession. It makes no sense. Play advantage. Change the rule. It's dumb.
Another thing. This is archaic. This is stupid. We shouldn't have it anymore. Possession arrow should just not be a thing. We should just tip it up. I think we've evolved in basketball enough to where there's not enough.
How long has the NBA done
that? As long as I've been watching the NBA, so I don't know. I don't think the NBA's ever. I think the NBA's never had possession arrow. Because originally in basketball, it was called a jump ball because you always tipped it up.
Jumped it.
So I think these lower levels of basketball that were shittier players, they put in the possession arrow because there was just so much poor ball handling and
it
scrums.
happened so much.
Now it doesn't happen that much. And again, you would get less plays where guys are trying. I mean, people would still try for jump balls. Like, it would still be advantageous sometimes to get a jump ball. But basically, trying to limit the stoppage of play as much as possible can nothing but benefit the quality of the basketball, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Tip that bitch up.
Let's tip it up.
It shouldn't just be a random, this time you get it. I mean, that seems childish to me if you really think about it. That's just how it's been, so you're used to it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a childish way to decide it when these are all mostly like professional basketball caliber 25
If you're going to reach in and tie it up, jump it up.
Yeah.
Tip it up. You said we talked about the Melendez dunk and hanging on the rim. Why are we doing that still? Who cares?
You should be able to hang on the rim for as long as you want. If you want to disadvantage yourself by hanging on the rim, here's my thing.
Break the backboard. I don't give a shit.
Any sport at all, if you want to showboat and show off, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. If you want to look like an asshole and get fucked up, that's fine. Who cares? Why is it the ref's job to protect the feelings of the other players?
Yeah, what's the point of that? What's the point?
All of it. The taunting in football, like bat flips in baseball, the umpire or the referee, that's not your jurisdiction to protect just the feelings of the other players. And even the other players on the other team, like, we don't care. We're all having fun.
I would like to swing on the rim and have a sweet dunk too.
Yes. It's cool. Don't get rid of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Ref, if you can't dunk, you don't get to enforce rules about hanging on the rim.
How many refs could dunk?
None. None. They're all fucking 5'11" lawyers from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, bunch of high school hacks that couldn't make it.
They're a bunch of little white-haired fucks that need attention. Some of them are great. The ones that I never notice and I don't know their names, they're great.
Hats off to you.
The ones, if I know your name as a ref, bad sign.
Yeah.
Not
bad
good.
Sign.
Bo Borowski, not good.
Shouldn't know you. Don't want to know you.
He I don't remember which game it was. He got in the mix in one of these games. Oh, that USC Miami game that fouled.
And that's
at
the
the end
thing.
of the game.
He wants us to know his name. He's fucking look at me.
Brutal.
Bullshit ref show.
Brutal.
The fewer whistles, refs, the fewer whistles, the better. Just I don't want to even know you're there. After the game, if I'm like, boy, I didn't see much of the refs. That's a good thing. I don't want to know you. You're not a part of the game. Stop making yourself a part of the game.
Yeah.
Can't fucking stand it. Please stop. I hate it. Also, let's start taunting some more. Let's hang on the rim.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're hanging on the rim, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. You're not running back on defense. We'll beat you. We'll score. That's your punishment. Your punishment for showboating is you get scored on. Yeah. That's the punishment.
Yeah.
It's not up to the refs.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear
Rant over. If there's anyone that's a big referee fan out there, sound off.
Yeah, sound off. Your
favorite part of the game, love the refs. Love stripes.
Love a good block. Love a good emphatic charge call.
Yeah. Here's another thing. And I think that I'm maybe in the minority on this, but maybe not.
Okay.
I think for our specific situation, it might be a little bit different, but I'm of the camp that when my team is out, I don't root for the other teams in our conference. Like, those are the teams I dislike the most.
No, I don't want them to win.
Yeah, exactly. All these people are like, oh, well, go Big Ten. It's like, no, these are the teams that I hate. I've watched these players enough. I've developed hatred for all of them.
And they're fans, and I don't want them to have good things.
I
don't want them to have good
if
things.
Fucking Miami wins, I don't give a fuck about Miami.
No.
Like, Purdue, Wisconsin, there's battles. They had battles. I hate those players. The Big Ten's a little different because we haven't won since
I would like
2000.
to get that stink off maybe.
Get that off the schneid, but as a rule, I'm big time fuck all the Big Ten teams once Illinois is out.
But there are levels to that for me. There are teams that are very, very strong rivals that I hate actually a lot. Really don't like Iowa.
Consequently, those are usually the good teams that are in it late, typically.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Like Purdue.
I don't hate Purdue like I hate Iowa.
Yeah. That's true. Michigan makes a run. Fuck Michigan. I hate Michigan.
Yeah, I don't like Michigan either. We can talk about that here in a minute. More Michigan, but yeah, don't like Michigan. But I get I don't really. We don't have a huge rivalry with Michigan State. I was not rooting against them today, but they were against Duke. So
yeah, that's a tough spot.
Yeah,
I was definitely rooting against Michigan. I was kind of rooting against Purdue. Was absolutely rooting against Wisconsin.
Yeah. I don't.
Absolutely.
They can fuck off. I don't. Most of their players I don't like. I was rooting against Brad Davis.
Yeah, I mean, he is Wisconsin at this point. He's it.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass, Brad. We'll see you. See you when we see you. Enjoy the YMCA.
Yeah, rest in piss. All right.
But yeah, I think. Yeah, a lot of people. I don't.
A lot of people are that way.
They're concern themselves with conference prestige or I don't give a shit.
No,
like you said,
I do not care.
It is. Why is the Big Ten not playing better in the tournament? What's the deal?
It's bizarre. how many championship game appearances and Final Four appearances have happened since Michigan State won in 2000, which is the last Big Ten national championship.
Wisconsin lost.
Wisconsin's lost. Michigan's lost twice.
Michigan State has lost.
Michigan State has lost for sure once.
Illinois lost.
Illinois lost. Purdue hasn't made it. Wisconsin's lost in the Final Four twice. Michigan's, I think, made it to another Final Four.
Iowa, Maryland, Nebraska,
Penn State, Rutgers. None of those teams have made it, but a lot. Maryland when they were in the ACC won, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, that was.
True. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's just
seems like bad luck. But recently, as of late, the Big Ten has struggled just getting later in.
Yeah.
It seems like the last 4 or 5 years we've had the most teams in and then ended up with like 1 team, 2 teams in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, so I think the last 2 years, I think they've had 3 teams in the Sweet 16 and 2 of them have been Michigan.
Yeah. So we had 10 teams in this year and we're going to have 2
Purdue
teams
and Michigan
in the Sweet 16.
Not great, Bob.
Not great at all. Not great at all. I don't know. Is there a style of play in the Big Ten? Is there more emphasis on like big men and mucking the game up?
Yes, I do think that the style of play that is implemented widespread in the Big Ten is conducive to low-scoring, closer games that get you beat in March, sometimes by worse teams.
But then you also have Iowa, who's very unsuccessful, who's the opposite of that. They're no defense, huck threes, beat you like that, and they haven't ever got to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, they're mostly the exception, though, in the Big Ten.
But that's my thing. It's like there's other Big Ten teams that are exceptions to that have had good teams that also were unsuccessful. It's bizarre. I don't know what to boil it down to.
I don't know.
And Michigan is like a weird exception that they have been successful. They've made it to championships and Final Fours in recent years. They, to our point, shoot a lot of threes on these teams. The last team that made it to the title game shot a fuckload of threes. They had Duncan Robinson, Jordan Poole, among others.
And they run through a big man now, like they're most of their offense now. I know it's been it's been 20 plus years. This term, to win it all is extremely hard. It is bizarre that not one has happened in the past 20 plus years.
The bizarre part is how close they've gotten so many times. Ohio State also has lost in the title game and made it to a Final Four outside of that.
I think it's just bad luck.
But at some point, it's like there's bad luck, and then there has to be something to it at some point. But also to look at it 10 years from now to this year, there's just not really a lot of comparisons to the style of play or anything. Basketball changes so much. I'd assume the Big Ten kind of changes with it.
Yeah.
Is there any narrative to the Big Ten being rough and teams being hurt and teams being banged up? And I always am not on that camp because I think all these conferences, once you play the whole season, the guys are going to be tired. They're going to be gassed. I don't think there's anything more to playing in the Big Ten.
You might be able to say something about playing deeper into the conference tournament being a negative.
Yeah, maybe. We have seen a lot of teams that won their conference tournament that have been bounced. Are there any team? Villanova won their conference tournament.
What Purdue do?
Houston won theirs. Purdue lost in the or did they win? They lose in the championship. They lost in the championship game to Iowa, I think. Perhaps, maybe.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's weird.
I think it's just a bad draw, bad luck. It's
weird.
That's the thing. The Big Ten's had a bunch of chances. They've just lost to good teams. It's a fairly small sample. It's again the grand scheme of things.
Almost 0 times has a Big Ten team been probably one of the favorites to win going into the tournament. Not that many 1 seeds. I mean, I'm sure there's some, but it seems like less than the other conferences typically have.
Yeah.
Like, just off the top of my head, a team going into the tournament that was probably favored to win would have been like Greg Oden in Ohio State, maybe.
But I mean, Florida was.
Yeah, they won the year before.
Like those Wisconsin teams, the Kentucky teams, or Duke, who they ended up losing to, would have been.
Because Michigan, every time they make it, are like a 3 seed or lower typically. They're usually not a top 2 seed.
Michigan State has made it as like a deeper seed, like 4 and 5 seed.
Yeah, Michigan State teams usually seem to go deeper when they're not higher seeds.
Yeah.
They seem to get upset when they're higher seeds.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's factual. Recently, it's been the case, but
I don't know. I think they just lost to in those games. Would they have been favorites in those games? Michigan would have been a dog to Villanova.
yeah,
I don't know what the Odin team would have been. Illinois. I wonder what the Illinois spread would have been.
I bet they were favored.
Probably favored.
Lost 2 games all year. I'm sure they were probably favored. It's tough.
I don't know.
I don't think this is going to be the year. I think Purdue is going to be the only hope.
They play St. Peter's, so
yeah. Then they got to play North Carolina or UCLA, which will not be an easy game.
Yeah, 4
And then they'll
and
have
8
to
seed.
beat Gonzaga probably, which will also not be an easy game. And then they'll probably have to play Villanova or Kansas. So not the easiest.
Hey,
sled.
no one said it was easy. That's why that's why it's hard to win.
Yeah, you got to beat a lot of good teams to win the national championship typically.
Anything else before we talk some?
You brought this question. 1 game, 1 tournament. Who do you want as your coach right now?
Jay
Active
Wright.
coach.
No question.
Really?
Jay Wright. I'll take him.
Here's
all
my
day.
thing with Jay Wright. Yeah, and maybe this is not really a good point. He has a very specific style and needs very specific players that fit that style. You plop him into any team, I don't know that it necessarily works.
Well, I think that's a part of coaching.
I guess, yeah.
He's able to get the players and implement the style and make it work.
Yeah, Jay Wright would be high up on my list. I think Kelvin Sampson's a really good coach. I think he gets a little underrated. The Houston coach. He seems to never have a bad defensive team. His teams play incredibly hard.
They seem to buy in. I think
Few's made it to the Sweet 16, like 7 years in a row or something like that. He's the best coach in college basketball right now. I think there's not really a dispute on that as it currently stands. I think Mark Few's the best coach in the country. 7 straight Sweet 16s is impossible. That's insane.
I'm talking. Are we talking like in-game, like game plan, stuff like that?
I don't even know. I think that stat alone, that track record, you just have to say it's him, I think.
A lot of 1 seeds.
Yeah.
Which helps. They play in a terrible conference, which helps them get like 28 wins a year.
You can't say they don't play as tough a non-conference as any team in the country.
Yeah.
They play everyone before their conference season starts.
Yeah, they played 2 or 3 tough games before conference.
If Gonzaga was in the Pac-12 this year, I think they're still a 1 seed. They'd absolutely still. They wouldn't be whatever they are, 2 losses.
They would have more losses, but
they would still be a 1 seed.
Yeah, maybe it'd be close.
They would absolutely be the best team in the Pac-12. Chris Beard, I like Chris Beard a lot as a coach. They just lost today to Purdue.
Yeah, I was going to bring him up next.
Krzyzewski's a great coach. No denying Coach K, but
no thanks.
He's gone
over the hill.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I can't wait for him to win the national title. That's going to suck.
Not happening.
That's going to fucking suck. The fix is going to be so in whenever they play Gonzaga. Gonzaga's going to get so boned. This poor Texas Tech team, they're going to foul out every single player on their team. It is you want a ref show. Oh, Coach K is going to put the call in there, and Texas Tech is going to get fucked.
Yeah,
they are going to get royally boned. An aggressive, in-your-face team like that, they're going to have a million fouls.
Yeah.
An absolute million fouls. Duke's going to be down 6 points at halftime. They're going to get in the double bonus with 8 minutes left in the game.
No, more.
9, 10 minutes left in the game.
More.
They're going to win by 4 points.
Who are some under the radar good X's and O's guys? What about
Jim Larrañaga? Great coach.
Yeah.
Great coach. One of the best offensive coaches in the country. Never has a bad offense.
Another Sweet 16.
The defense leaves something to be desired at times. Mick Cronin, UCLA.
I was going to bring him up too.
Can't deny his success in the tournament. Everywhere he goes, they typically are okay in the tournament. They're never going to play poor defense. They always play hard.
Yeah. I really like Jay Wright. I think...
Bill Self, obviously a great coach.
Yeah.
Got the track record.
Good track record. I like coaches that can overachieve, and it's just so like Kansas and Duke, and those guys are always so loaded. It's hard to, I don't know. Like Chris Beard's a good.
Here's the thing, though. There's plenty of other blue bloods that have been in that position that have had coaches that have fucked it up and not been able to maintain that success. I think it's underrated that it does take a lot. Like, Indiana's fallen off the face of the fucking earth. There was a point in time where they were right there with all these other schools, and now they are an average kind of nothing team. UCLA was in the same boat until last year, and they were an 11 seed last year. They're really still not all the way back to being a blue blood team, which deep down they are. They have the most national championships of any team ever. So I don't think that it's exactly easy to maintain this type of success that like Bill Self, Coach K, Jay Wright, Mark Few has done. There is a skill also to reloading and keeping.
I think at this point, I'm not saying that someone else could come in and just automatically continue that success, but I think currently for those guys, the recruiting and the running of the program kind of just runs itself. Like they don't have to, I just don't think they're pounding the pavement, hitting the recruiting trails. It just kind of recruits itself at this point. It would be different if someone else came in, but just you're Bill Self, you're Kansas.
Mark Few turning Gonzaga into just like a blue blood machine is very impressive.
Yeah.
Getting kids to go to Spokane to a team that had never made a Final Four, that didn't play in a Power 5 conference to tournament, and now basically up there with anybody. They're fighting with Kentucky and Duke for recruits is incredibly impressive.
Very unique path to that. Really went after like Canada and the international players. Really hit that hard. Smart. I mean, why compete with those blue bloods when you don't have to? Then there's talent everywhere.
Yep.
Mark Few likes to drink, likes to catch a buzz. Likes to catch a buzz.
Oh, the takes that are come out if they win the national championship, and people are gonna be like, actually, remember this DOI that he got? That's gonna be a thing.
Are people gonna bring that up? You think?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
People are gonna be like, actually, we should not be celebrating Mark Few. He got a DUI. And to be fair, DUI is bad. Drinking and driving.
Don't drink and drive,
bad.
kids.
Don't do that. But
it has nothing to do with his coaching.
No.
Did a bad thing.
He did. He did. You want to get into some of these games?
Yeah, go ahead.
Got any overarching stuff? What do you want to talk about? What's the big story?
Does the NCAA tournament have a milk? What is this?
The amount of mothers that I'm seeing on the NCAA broadcast. It's crazy. I feel like it's more this year than ever.
You think?
Does the NCAA have a MILF fetish is what I have in the notes here, and I kind of stand by that. I mean, there was a guy today that was the backup center they were showing his mom. How do they even know who that is?
Well, she's
Did
hot.
they have no, she was, I mean, no offense to her. She
Respectfully.
was a very normal-looking lady. I mean, they've got every mom on both teams scouted. I think they could have some walk-ons get in there showing moms.
Girlfriends, they love it.
I mean, and normally that is a thing, but usually it's like star player's mom, coach's wife. That's about it. We're getting eighth man on the roster moms.
How many cutaways of Jaden Ivey's mom do we need during
it was
the Purdue
a lot,
games?
and then she's like away, and she's coach
like
of a
coaching for
college
Notre Dame.
team, and she like was a good player, so that makes sense. Whenever I saw that Texas Tech kid today, he was the backup center. They're showing his mom. Like, how do you even know? He was shooting a free throw, and it was like a good shot because his mom was like freaking out. But how do you know that's his mom?
It's called doing your research, doing your homework.
These people are digging in the weeds. Respect to them.
Yeah, I guess.
Respect to them. I also think we're not seeing, which I respect a little bit, we're not seeing as much people crying as I feel like I normally see in the tournament. I feel like usually we're getting real long, like, hey.
You mean like
it's the worst moment of your life.
You mean like players?
Fans, kids, players, the whole bit. I feel like we're seeing less of it.
You wrote down the Juwan Howard, and I said we'd get back to it. Cynic.
Yeah.
All a show.
Oh, cameras here? All right. Give this kid a hug.
All a show.
The fact that we're like, guys, oh, man, this redemption arc for Juwan Howard.
What a guy.
He put it on himself, guys. I promise you it's not anyone else's fault that he punched that guy in the face. It was Greg Gard and the assistant probably being an ass? Sure.
100%.
You don't punch people in the head.
In the handshake line.
In the handshake line. You don't hit people. And then we don't get, y'all better share this clip as much as y'all were sharing. No. One of these things is a normal thing for a person to do. The other thing is you striking another coach.
Absolutely did that to get a clip.
Yeah.
To look at me, good guy.
Yeah. I mean, the fact there's like a redemption arc, like there's the adversity he's overcome. It's his own adversity.
He brought it on himself.
It is the most self-inflicted adversity you could imagine.
Y'all better share this clip.
He hit him.
Yeah.
He hit the coach. I don't think he should have been fired. I think the suspension was probably about right. I didn't think it was as big of a deal as the other, but he certainly wasn't wronged. He certainly wasn't wronged by society for punching the other coach.
No.
I don't know.
As we talk, I guess more second round games we're enjoying.
Neither of us are getting wet, or no?
That's true.
We're
very much could get wet still.
We might both get wet. Neither of us are drinking Malort. Both
or
our teams
wearing a dress.
No Cinderella
in
dress.
Public, which is
no
good.
Malort.
We've survived the Sweet 16. We both pick 1 seeds. We're not dummies. You have Kansas. I have Gonzaga. It was a little touch and go for me. Down
too.
8 or 9. Yeah, that's true. Creighton had him on the ropes a little bit. We survived to the second weekend. Mostly okay punishments now. It would be fun if we had to get wet, though.
Yeah, getting soaking wet would fucking suck.
Yeah.
But we both didn't get the great luck. We both ended up with the 4 seed for our Sweet 16 matchups, which is, in theory, worst case scenario for our sake.
We're both going to be heavy favorites. I'm not afraid of either of those matchups, really.
Oh, it is. I'm going to get my just desserts. I've been big anti-Providence all year. I've been the fucking asshole that's been the media narrative that fucking Providence sucks and they're lucky.
Dude, they're lucky.
It's all bullshit.
How'd it work in the first round?
How'd
it work in the second round?
They covered both games.
Yeah. Blew the doors off of them.
They won by like 9 against South Dakota State, but that's neither here nor there.
Second game.
They won by like 1,000,000 points. It was not a good showing. So that's going to be real eat my words moment.
Real kick in the balls.
Soaking wet and
because of Providence.
Old Coach Staley, isn't his name? Coach, what's his fucking name? Cooley. Ed Cooley. Not Staley. Ed Cooley. Yeah, that's going to be rough. That's not going to be fun. We're just going to win, though, right?
Yeah, probably. I'm not afraid of Arkansas. I don't think Gonzaga's going to have a tough time with
him.
him.
The must bus is coming for that.
No,
ass.
it's not.
You better get on the must bus, baby.
Not a lot of first-round games I really want to talk about, but
Kentucky
lost to St. Peter's.
That's the big thing.
The Cox.
We got our March Madness moment. We've got our sweetheart. We've got our darling.
Doug Eddard and
the
St. Peter's Peacocks.
Etched into the history books. We're going to remember that little porn stash
his little crust
forever.
stash.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Disgusting. And then they went and beat Murray State. The fact that Murray State walked into that game like, we got this shit. We're Murray State. You're Murray State is what I would say.
You got beat wire to wire by St. Peter's.
They're 30-2 or whatever they
Handled
are.
them.
You're Murray fucking State.
Relax.
Still.
Yeah.
Calm down.
I think they might have a tough time with Purdue, but
I mean, anything's possible. The fact they beat Kentucky is
the thing.
Impossible. They beat Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't have a 7'4" guy.
Earned it. Wasn't a fluke.
The fact that a big-time program with a big-time coach like Texas gave up 48 free throws to Purdue bodes poorly for St. Peter's. Purdue might shoot 75 free throws in that game.
More.
It's going to be absurd.
I don't know if they're going to have enough players to complete the game, but that's why they play the game. They beat Kentucky. One of the most talented teams.
The team that I would say was probably third or fourth picked. We were both like, in our minds, in our heart of hearts, we think Kentucky's going to win the whole thing.
Yes. They had everything you could want. Star guards,
player
of the year.
Player of the year.
Everything. Bad coach. But the Cox got it done.
That's the thing. This is not some fluky shit. They're playing well.
They beat him.
They beat both teams.
Yes.
They played better.
Yes.
There was no real foul trouble situation. It was just we beat you.
Yeah.
They play great defense. They move the ball on offense. They flow. They cut. They're all on the same page.
I just want to say, Creighton had Kansas if their big man didn't get hurt. I told you they were going to win the first game. I told everyone. Dogs won it, deserved it. They weren't down the whole game and gutted it out at the end. That's not what they did. And then their big man blew his knee out.
They played so goddamn bad in that San Diego State game.
Yeah, well, San Diego State stinks.
Yeah, they played probably worse. They didn't deserve to win that fucking game. They played terrible.
Yeah.
They were horrible.
Part of a Blue Jay, though.
Oh, my God.
But their big man went down, and they were just doomed. They gave a good showing, but not a lot of other first-round games. Final thoughts on the Illinois season?
I think I was hoping for around a Sweet 16 run. I was hoping for one more win. I think we got a pretty shit draw.
Houston was
every
a tough
team
5.
who loses ever. I mean, Houston, after watching them today, that's just
They're
not
a tough
5
5.
seed.
They're a tough
They're just
5.
not a 5 seed. That team is.
It's hard to justify giving them a higher seed sometimes because of the conference they play in, but yeah, that's it.
But I mean, granted, they made it to the Final Four without playing a single-digit seed last year, but they still made it to the Final Four, which is quite an achievement.
Yeah.
A Final Four team coming back, and they had some injuries this season, but they're incredible down the stretch. I mean, they're gonna give Arizona or maybe TCU.
We're coming down. We have this game on.
can-
TCU's up 3 with like a minute and a half left.
The madness is not yet done in the round of 32, folks.
No.
We're going to give it to you live. Wisconsin lost. So sad. Too bad. We got a vaunted 11-10 matchup down there. Auburn just got smoked by Miami, which I don't think anyone anticipated.
Auburn's been overrated all year.
The guards. We said it from the jump. The fucking
that
guards.
game was teetering. They were making a run. They had a couple stops, got a couple blocks from their big men. The guards just raced up the court and threw it away as quick as they could.
There was 6 minutes left in the game. You would have thought the players thought there was
45
45
That's
seconds.
crazy.
Left. They were cranking threes immediately across the line.
They got it. They made a shot and got it back to like 7 or 8, and then blocked a shot and had it on a break and just launched up like a 30-footer. It was bad.
Someone made this joke. I forget who it was. All these players are obviously looking at mock drafts. The two players that aren't looking at mock drafts are the two guards for Auburn.
No. Do we have good players on our team?
It's
me.
No one hates Jabari Smith more than the guards for Auburn.
Both guards are, yeah. Yeah.
Not great. Not great. The game of the round of 32 had to have been Baylor, North Carolina.
Yeah.
It was.
We were both on North Carolina. It was plus 5.5, and we bet a money line. They were up, for those that didn't see the game, 25 points.
With 10 minutes left in the game.
And did you think that was a flagrant 2?
On
Manic?
No.
I didn't either. Flagrant 1, he did elbow him. But like that was just a
It's
basketball
a box
play.
out.
It was a basketball play, yeah.
It was. He couldn't even see him. He couldn't see where his elbow was. Arizona's going to lose this fucking game, huh? We got 35 seconds left, down 3. Matherin has the ball, dribbles left.
High
They
screen,
double,
swing to
the corner,
drives
baseline, right, cut off.
Boy, we're really good at this.
Back to the top, Matherin. This is the guy they want. He's their man for
Denies
3.
the screen. 3.
Drills it!
Wet.
Ice in his veins.
TCU probably going to use this timeout. They just did. 12 seconds left.
12 seconds
the
left.
last shot to win the game.
Tie game. Horned Frogs.
And we'll
Arizona,
bring it to you. We'll bring it to you
for
live,
a shot at the
right
Sweet
here.
16. Anyway, North Carolina Baylor, absolutely insane. Jeremy Sohan, I don't know if he'll be back or if he'll go to the league next year. I don't know. It'll be 50-50, I would say. He comes back. He's firmly in the total shithead guy everyone hates. He's got the stupid fucking hair.
Yeah.
He's kind of got a little Dennis Rodman situation going on. But
He's a candidate.
He's going to get in that like Aaron Kraft fucking
He's
Grayson
a candidate
Allen.
to get sucker punched next year.
Yeah.
If he comes
The
back.
thing that's a little different about him is he's like 6'8".
He's
athletic
good. Yeah.
And rangy
He's not
and
like
good.
He doesn't need to be a little fuck.
But he is, and he is a little
Really
fucking
good.
instigator.
Yeah, he is.
I wouldn't have ejected Manic, but there was no mistake that he was getting very pissed off and did not appreciate what Sohan was bringing.
Anyways, he got tossed. They proceed to strap a saddle on North Carolina and ride them like pack mules for 8.5 minutes straight, no fouls. They were in the bonus with like 12 minutes, 11 minutes left around when he got thrown out. Didn't shoot a free throw until like a minute and a half left in the game.
No.
Not one foul. They pressed, didn't foul one time.
The other big thing, Manic and then Caleb Love fouled out.
They were
North Carolina had no ball handlers
was like
left.
a
No
bad
ball
high
handlers
school
left.
team.
It was wild. They couldn't get the ball in bounds. I've never seen anything like it other than Illinois.
Oh my God! They didn't call a foul. He didn't get it off in time. He didn't get it. I don't think he got it off in time.
I don't think he got it off. The dunk at the end of the game. They stole it.
That guy at half
they're waving
court.
it off. They're calling no.
I caught that guy at half court got mugged.
He appeared to have been fouled.
No
What
call.
are we going to do here?
He certainly didn't get it off in time.
You don't think so?
Nope. Don't think so.
Mike Miles, TCU guard, he's upset.
I need to see the half court. The dude was mugged.
Maybe he just slipped, dude.
Yeah, maybe.
Did he? No.
Nope.
Didn't get it. You got to lay it in, dude. You can't dunk it. You got to lay it in.
They're going to overtime, though. Going to overtime.
Oh.
Gotta favor Arizona here in overtime, you'd think.
You got to think the momentum's on the better team side. Usually the better team wins.
He might have flopped.
Yeah, that's my thing. He might have just fallen down, like begging for a foul there.
He might have flopped.
Because,
that was close.
3 seconds left.
Yeah, really late.
Your last resort is, hey, let's get 2 free throws here.
All right. Going to overtime. But anyways, they got...
But our example, Baylor did not win in this situation when they went to overtime. North Carolina somehow gutted that game out. We were talking about best. Scott Drew is absolutely one of the 4 or 5 best coaches in the country. The fact that
Not Scott Drew.
Yes, Scott Drew.
What's the other ones?
Bryce Drew. Bryce Drew is the one that played.
Oh.
Bryce Drew is the one that hits the famous Grand Canyon now. Used to coach Valparaiso. Coaches Grand Canyon now. Bryce Drew hit the famous shot where he dives on the floor.
Yeah.
Scott Drew is the Baylor coach.
The coach. Yes.
They're both coaches, but Scott Drew is the good coach, the national champion coach.
Right.
Baylor's at the point now where they're just in the Duke, North Carolina, Kansas frame of things. I mean, since like 2010,
Close.
they've been perennial top
Very
10
good.
team that entire time. They sneaky
They're on
since
the back
2010
fringe of
have
that.
been one of the best teams.
Yeah,
one of the best programs.
They're on the back fringe of that top group.
I would say they're probably because like Duke has the most national titles, and after that, there's a bunch of teams tied with 1. Since 2010, I don't think any other team has won 2 that I can think of other than
Villanova.
Duke. Oh yeah, Villanova. So probably Duke, Villanova, and then probably
Gonzaga.
Probably them,
Kentucky.
Gonzaga. I think they've probably been better at Kentucky in that stretch. But
Yeah, I mean they've won one, but it was just like perennially getting every player they want.
Yeah, Kentucky's won one as well, but success on the court wise.
Yeah.
They're as good as any. And he put on a masterclass. He got him back in that game, put on the press, hit all the right buttons.
I mean, they assaulted them for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I've never seen in major Division 1 basketball a lead melt away like that.
No.
It was crazy.
There was 8 minutes left. It felt like 55 minutes. And there were no fouls being called, really.
It was like they were pressing a junior high team.
It was bad. There were a few guys out there because they had foul trouble and they had to put some guys in that it was deer in the fucking headlights when they caught the ball.
You played Carolina, for fuck's sake.
You're
Dribble!
You play for North Carolina. Grow the fuck
You're
up.
on scholarship, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it was wild.
Dribble! Score!
We're big NBA guys. College basketball is a different fucking
It's
beast.
crazy.
It's like
Imagine
seriously a different
pressing
sport.
in the NBA.
Yeah, some teams do it like smartly and sparingly, but
We're just bigger, and we're just going to toss it over your
yeah, we're
head.
just smart.
We can just dribble.
We can just dribble.
We can all dribble.
The fact that North Carolina is like, we only have 2 guys that can dribble. You're North Carolina.
Unbelievable.
Doesn't make any fucking sense. All right. Anything else
any other
from
big games?
the games? Gonzaga Memphis was a really good game.
One of the more high-level games. There's a lot of pros in that game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. One of the more fun, more up and down games. Michigan State Duke turned out to be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Michigan State couldn't really hang on.
Who do you like less, Izzo or Coach K?
Oh, fucking K, absolutely.
I don't like Izzo.
No, I don't either.
Such a dick.
He's got the same sort of energy. Like, there's a lot of all the coaches from that generation are like the same way, which it's successful and has its place. I think you can't be soft and be nice to all the kids. You got to yell at them, but he seems to just get pissed off for the sake of getting pissed off sometimes.
Yeah. You'd think it would stop having the same effect.
Yeah.
Like some of some of the coaches that I've had to just like yell and scream all the time, just like has no impact anymore. We're just like you're just always mad.
Yeah, I think a lot of the players kind of are that way. That you can tell they're very
hard.
unaffected by it.
Just tune it out.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's tune it out, but I think they just like you're mad, but you're not actually mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Who? Before we move on to our player bracket.
Well, I think we should break
What?
down the Sweet 16 here and give
That's
our
what I was gonna
thoughts.
say. That's what I
Okay,
was gonna
we're
say.
on the same page, dude. You and me.
Dude, we prepped so hard for this.
What game are you looking forward to most in the Sweet 16? So we got Gonzaga, Arkansas, Texas Tech, Duke, TCU/Arizona versus Houston. Is that game back yet? Michigan, Villanova, Kansas, Providence, UNC, UCLA, Purdue, St. Peter's, Iowa State, Miami.
I think Gonzaga rolls Arkansas. I think Purdue rolls St. Peter's. I'm intrigued by this Texas Tech Duke game.
Yes.
Very intrigued.
Oh, I think Texas Tech's gonna get fucked.
Gonna get the screws put to
They're
them.
gonna get boned hard.
Yeah. How bad do these folks want Duke in the Final Four?
They could get Duke Carolina in the Final Four. They want Duke Carolina in the Final Four.
They want it.
The three best games I think are going to be UNC, UCLA, Duke, Texas Tech, and Michigan, Villanova.
Michigan Villanova is big time intriguing.
National title rematch. I think they played in the Final Four another time also.
I'm pretty excited that Auburn got beat. I have a little cash on. I already cashed Iowa State to get to the Sweet 16. I have them to win that region too, at a pretty deep odd. So I'm interested in that game. I'll be watching that.
Both those teams playing really well.
They got a nice draw with Miami. That'll be really interesting. Hoping Kansas gets beat, so they play Providence. So I'll be watching that. I also have a little money on Villanova to win their region. That's really the last I have left as far as gambling wise.
Futures I have.
So I'll be watching. I'll be tuning
see.
big time to the Michigan Villanova game for sure.
I've got a future on Duke. I've got a future on Villanova, and I've got a future on Houston and Arizona to win the national championship. So those would be best case scenarios for me.
Might have
a lot of those teams are in the same division over there. So
might have one locked in. Might have a Final Four team locked in.
Yeah, Michigan can go fuck off. That would be nice.
Yeah, I think they could beat them, but
I think you're underestimating Arkansas in that game against Gonzaga. I think they can spread them out.
I don't think I am.
I think the bigs could have a little trouble moving the feet on the perimeter. Arkansas center is very good. He's very mobile, very active, very good passer. That's a lot of blood.
There's a lot of blood on the floor in this game.
That guy's
might have lost a tooth.
Bleeding a lot from his face.
Yeah, that's a nosebleed, folks.
Good way to start OT.
Yeah.
What happened here?
Just ran right into the guy's elbow.
Elbowed himself in the face, basically. He ran into the guy's elbow.
I don't think I am. I don't know what that number was. 8.5?
Yeah.
I think they roll him pretty easy. I don't know. Good coach.
I mean, Arkansas, to
guard.
me, is better than Memphis. They're absolutely more solid. I'm telling you, the big for Arkansas, he's going to play in the league. Note's going to play in the league. They've definitely got more steady guard play. The athletes probably aren't as good, but they're not bad athletes. I think Musburger's a better coach than Penny.
Musburger?
Musselman, sorry. I would like to see Brad.
I think he could give it a go.
Yeah. Brent Musburger?
Yeah, I think Memphis gave him a really tough time. They just present such a unique challenge. They have a couple NBA guys. They have size that can match up with Gonzaga. I don't know. Maybe it's not huge. Maybe it's closer than I think. But I think they end up winning it pretty comfortably.
I think Arkansas hangs. I think Gonzaga wins. We're gonna get Zags.
I'm fine
Duke.
with that.
We're gonna get the rematch.
Texas Tech open favored in that game though.
Yeah, they did. They're gonna get boned. They're gonna deserve to win that game.
Okay.
They're gonna deserve to win that game, and they're not going to.
I think North Carolina could beat UCLA.
Absolutely.
I think they do beat them. I picked them to beat them.
We've both been kind of anti-UCLA over the last 2 years, but they've kind of put their money where their mouth is. They dismantled St. Mary's.
Yeah, we were both on
St.
Mary's, and they beat him pretty handily.
Had it in hand most of the way.
Yeah.
North Carolina, that's a lot of energy expended in that Baylor win.
True.
A lot of energy expended, a lot of emotional energy.
They had it won. You got to think they feel like they got away with one, kind of free rolling. I don't know.
Yeah, which is a good and a bad thing. UCLA also been to the Final Four before. That counts for something. They know.
Great coach.
They know what it feels like. First-year coach for North Carolina, another thing to consider.
I'll be watching that game for sure, and then Michigan-Villanova. Really could not care less about Kansas-Providence. I think that's going to be
What do you think is going to happen
probably a
there?
drag.
Providence, one thing we know about Providence, they play close games. Will they finally not play a close game?
I don't know what the spread is. Kansas didn't cover against a awful Creighton team.
Yeah.
Down their two best players. I mean, their point guard and their 7-footer.
They didn't cover
They
by
didn't cover that
half
game.
a point. Yeah, it was not good. It was closer than 7, which is what they ended up winning by.
Yes. They made their free throws late, but don't count them out. I know they probably lose.
No, I'm not counting them out. I am a little scared.
He's a good coach.
Little scared.
Yeah. Agbaji played very bad. Had a very poor game.
Yeah.
He'll probably play better, but Providence can muck it up, and they're not. Kansas is not bulletproof. That was not a good Creighton team. And
No,
they're
they're
hung
bad.
around. They did shoot well, which is a little uncharacteristic for Creighton, but
This Creighton team. Usually
this
Creighton, that's
Creighton
their
team.
thing.
Yeah,
This
it's kinda
Creighton
weird,
team, They're
yeah.
like
not very
bizarro
good.
Creighton.
Yeah. So they can hang there. I hope they win. So Iowa State, although Iowa State could beat Kansas, I mean they would be
I'm
7
telling
or
you,
8 point dogs.
After watching Miami today, they are playing as well as anybody. I might take Miami to win that game.
Oh, I'm not saying Iowa State's through whatsoever. It's a better draw than Auburn,
Obviously.
I think, just like talent wise.
Miami's playing
Great,
good ball.
awesome
right
coach.
now. They were playing really well in the ACC
They
tournament.
are by no means through in that game. No question.
Because Iowa State,
It was just a
the
good
way
draw.
to beat Miami in theory, which Auburn didn't show, is they have no size whatsoever. They basically play 5 guards, spread you out, and beat you off the dribble, and have guys that can just create shots like crazy. And typically they can't defend, but they defended really well today. I think Auburn kind of defended themselves a little bit with their guard play
Their
that we
guards stink.
mentioned. Yeah, they're not good at all.
Said it all year. They're awful. Held
Yeah.
them back. And
Yeah.
ended up beating them in the second round.
We also said that about Gonzaga, but Nembhard was fucking nails in that Memphis game. He was unbelievable. Him and Timmy.
They're so much better than Auburn's.
Oh, yeah. But I think Nembhard, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, this guy's as good as any guard in the country. He's on the level with
What a
most
killer.
of these
What a
other guys.
fucking stone-faced murderer that guy
Tim
was.
Duncan vibes. Just like,
Just,
whatever.
I
I just
do this.
come
I
here
just
and
do
I
Just stone-faced, hit
eviscerate
4
people.
free throws, didn't hit the rim.
Didn't
just-
smile, didn't frown. Didn't,
After the game, just
didn't-
like, yeah, I just did what I just
basically
made.
didn't open his mouth to breathe. Just breathing through his nose, just chilling,
Yeah.
just hanging out.
Yeah,
all right.
I guess when we were talking to Zach, it's more like they don't have like the lottery pick guard that like Suggs or which
Yeah,
they have was extreme outlier last year. They were one
Sure,
of the best teams to never win it.
absolutely. All right, what's your Final Four prediction?
Gonzaga.
Okay. I also will take Gonzaga out of that region. Go bottom left. The UNC, UCLA, Purdue, St. Peter's. Who's coming out?
Obviously, Purdue. It's not a free pass to the Elite Eight, but that is just a nightmare for St. Peter's. I mean, there's no shot they win that game.
Yep.
So
literally any other team in that entire side of the bracket would be a better matchup.
yeah, I
other
mean,
than
just
like
Edey
Gonzaga.
Edey and Trevion Williams are just going to be a nightmare for their lack of size. That said, that is a really interesting game. Either team that comes out to play them, I'll take Purdue, knowing that they're probably through. Which it's tough to say that at this stage, but it's a pretty good draw.
I'm going UCLA. I think they go back to back.
That's fair.
I think they're built for it. I'm not gonna back Matt Painter to get over that hump. He's
a big losing piece of trash.
I think
he's a
made
loser dead dog. he's a fat jowled loser. It's just a fact.
Yeah, I think he's made it to one Elite Eight, and they choked against Virginia and lost. So, other than that, I don't think he's ever. I think that's the only Elite Eight he's ever made it. I might have made it one with Robbie Hummel. I don't remember. So
some good teams.
Yeah, I'll take UCLA. If he's had teams, he should have probably made a Final Four by now. But
he'll be the second best coach in that Elite Eight game.
Yeah, Hubert Davis is. He's a better coach than Hubert Davis.
Yeah,
but
probably, I don't know.
Mick Cronin's a better coach. IMO. I'll take UCLA, and in that other region, I think
Villanova.
Yes, in that region.
I've been on Villanova the entire time.
Yep, agreed.
Coming out of that region,
Villanova,
Arizona.
I do think
looks like they're going to win.
Arizona presents a difficult matchup. Arizona's not guaranteed to beat Houston because they haven't beat TCU.
I want to see Houston Villanova, so I feel like that's an awesome matchup.
Yeah, I think so too.
I love that matchup. Man, quick shout out, Colin Gillespie is so good.
He's the perfect college basketball player. I feel like you've shit on him
player.
over the course of his career a little bit. Last year, I feel like you called him overrated quite often.
I don't think so.
I think I remember you calling him a little overrated in the past.
I don't think so. I think
you've called Villanova overrated in the past, and he's the best player on the team, which kind of by proxy would suggest he's
I think he's very good. I think he's very good.
Yeah, I think it's obvious he's very good, but I
think last year they were a little overrated. Where did they finish last year?
Like top 5 in the country.
Well,
I don't know where they lost. I don't remember when they lost.
Either.
I'm sure they made it to like the Sweet 16.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I was a little down on them last year, but it was not because of him. He's very good. He's
a perfect college guard.
Players, he'd be so high on a draft of all the. Whoa, that's a good idea. Let's draft
draft our best college basketball team
of current players
that are left.
Construct a team, just like entire pool of all the players in college. Let's make a starting lineup.
Or starting lineup of the teams that are left. What players would you want?
Or that
would maybe.
He would be maybe my first pick.
No, he would not be my first pick. He would definitely be one of the first guards I would pick.
Who would your first pick be? Chet?
Chet. I would pick Chet. Chet is a nightmare. He's a nightmare.
Yeah.
If I get a guy that blocks 6 shots a game, I'll take him over anybody.
I'll take the guard.
I'll take the 6 blocks a game.
I'll take the guard.
I'll take the 6 blocks a game with the silky
take the guy
touch.
that can control tempo, that can run the show.
I can find another guy to do that. I can find one guy in this entire tournament that can do what Chet does. Give me
Colin
Chet.
Gillespie, Chet. The
1 and 2 in the draft, probably. The scouts need to check on Gillespie, I think.
We're talking college. We're not talking pros.
You know, one thing that I see on Twitter that is always funny around tournament time is the people that have no idea what goes on in the NBA draft. And they're like, Colin Gillespie's not going to be an NBA player. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he's 5'11"
I saw people
and white.
last year that were like, I would much rather have Luka Garza than Cade Cunningham. Like, there's people that are fucking idiots that have no perception of what goes on at the NBA.
The game we're watching right now is not the game that's played in the NBA.
It's a different fucking sport.
Different sport. We're both shooting a ball at a hoop. It's a different sport.
Yeah. The people that are like, yeah, I'd rather have Luka Garza. I'd rather have Colin
Luka
Gillespie.
Garza can't guard me.
Like, their scouting report is like, this many points a game, this many points a game. He's better.
Yeah. It's a joke.
You're a fucking idiot.
It looks like Arizona's going to advance.
They just score again.
Yep.
Up 5, 9 seconds left. Going to be tough. Arizona holds on.
TCU, though. Valiant effort. Hopefully they can hold on and cover for the folks backing them because they definitely deserve to. I wonder what the number was. Probably like
9.5. I had Arizona, and that's probably not going to happen. That would be cool, though.
9. Yeah, no.
9.5. Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
They're going to win by 7 probably. So, Gonzaga, Villanova, Kansas, UCLA for me. What say you?
Gonzaga, Purdue, Villanova, Iowa State.
I think I'm taking... I'd pick Miami to beat Iowa State, I think. I really liked what I saw from them today. Iowa State also played very well, though.
Obviously, I know that's not what's most likely to happen.
Dude, you got to get a little different. Got to get these fucking takes off, son.
Yeah, but I've been backing the clones, and I'm going to stick with them.
Fucking Clone Wars, baby.
Yeah. Brockington was awful today. Kush, what's his name? Kirschman?
Never heard of him before. Had the game of his life today.
Went off.
There's nothing better than college basketball.
Yeah,
some guy you've never heard of on national TV, the biggest stage in the world, has the greatest game of his life.
Yeah, good for him.
That's one thing. You don't get any Doug Edners in the NBA or whatever the fuck that guy's name is.
Ever heard of Jeremy Lin?
Yeah, that's true. That's like the only time that's ever happened.
Arizona by 5. put it in ink. They're in Arizona, Houston. Guess the line?
Arizona minus 2.5.
I had like 4 in my head, maybe.
Houston's
Arizona's
playing
been
well.
shaky.
Arizona's playing poorly.
Yeah.
But Arizona's more talented.
It's fair. Yeah, I'll go with Iowa State. Obviously, don't think that's overly likely. It's probably just going to be Kansas because the best teams usually just make the Final Four. But, yeah, I'll go with my Clones. I feel good about Villanova, though.
The one thing that's come out of all this, I think I've convinced myself that this is Gonzaga's year. This is the year. This is it. This is their year. This is the year Gonzaga gets over the hump. Zag's going all the way. I think you're going to be king. You're going to be wearing your crown by the end of this.
Yeah. Well, I'm a genius. So
you're a really smart man. You took the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, I think that they beat Arkansas. They did lose to Duke. It's not guaranteed they play them, but they still have a tough road here.
They do,
regardless.
But they've been more impressed with them than any other team that I think has a shot.
Man.
I've been more impressed with them. The shit they're capable of, the offense is on a completely different level from these other teams. The way they can heat up and absolutely drown you in a 5-minute stretch is unlike any other team.
The relentless pace that they play with is crazy. Just full throttle at all times. They will wear you.
That poor backup Memphis center, they wouldn't call a timeout.
Dandridge.
That guy was... He needed an inhaler. He was begging for his life out there. And Penny's just like, nope, play on. We got Durant sitting here at the scores table. No timeouts.
Stop.
Keep going.
Stop.
Oh, yes.
Stop.
We got another thing. And I agree with it.
Coaches.
All of you.
Gather around. Stop taking players out with foul trouble. Stop it. Stop it. There are some circumstances. There's some circumstances where it is warranted, it's necessary, but you can't leave. You're gonna lose.
Durant in that game is the example. You do take him out because he got his 4th foul with like 13 minutes left. He has to come out at that point. But then, if it's like under 8, in my opinion, he's got to be in there. Here's the caveat: we don't have him in the game, and we lose. We put him in the game. He fouls out. We also lose. The scenario where we win is he plays this entire amount of time and doesn't foul.
You're gonna have to.
That's the Doctor Strange. There's one scenario where this goes right. Here. We got to get lucky.
If you bring him back at the 8-minute, whenever, leave him in whenever. What is the downside? What's the downside of him playing with 4 fouls? What's the answer?
He fouls out.
He gets his 5th foul. What happens when he gets his 5th foul?
We're fucked.
You have to take him out of the game. You must remove him from the game if he gets his 5th foul. So, to stop having to remove him from the game, I'm going to willingly remove him from the game. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't do it. They didn't bring him back until the under 4.
The craziest shit was they put him to the scores table.
This guy
they walked, and he's just
dying.
And
Dandridge can't walk.
4 minutes, he's got 3 timeouts, and he's not calling one to get him back in. He's the best player.
The game's over. You've lost.
Yeah, it's bad.
Stop doing it.
Penny, it was bad. He should have called one of your 3 timeouts with 4 minutes left. 3 timeouts. Some Andy Reid shit.
The punishment for him fouling out is you have to take him out. So you just take him out?
Yeah.
Stop.
If it's under 8 minutes, I'm rolling the fucking dice.
You need him. He's your best player. You're just going to lose with your bad players.
Yeah.
You could win if you put him in.
Yes.
I get you. I get it. I get you want to play the most important, but then we're going to lose now.
The game will be over by the time the crunch time happens if he doesn't play.
Stop doing it.
Agreed.
Stop.
Agreed.
I forgot about that. I just got re-fired up about it.
It's stupid. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's the most ass-backwards
the most illogical shit of all time.
It's ass-backwards.
I'd hate to have to play without my best player, so let's just play without him. Willingly.
I'll foul him out myself, basically.
Yeah. And then he ends. You'll see shit. He gets like his 3rd foul early in the second. It'll end with 3. It's just like you just took him out. You've played yourself. Congratulations. You've played yourself.
Okay.
I'm good.
Who would you pick to win the national championship? Gun to your head right now. I'd take the Zags, as I just said.
I think they're a Zerd favorite. Man.
Here's maybe an exercise. How many teams do you think have a legitimate chance to win the national championship?
Gonzaga for sure.
Here, I'm going to count in my head. I'm going to go 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll say I think there are 8 teams that can win the national championship that are left. That's probably aggressive.
I think that's a bit aggressive. I would say 7?
It's not that aggressive.
6 or 7? Gonzaga and Duke. I don't think Texas Tech can.
Yeah, I think Gonzaga, Duke, Arizona. I think Houston could. They would be 8th, but I think they could.
That'd be a hell of a gauntlet. I don't think they can.
I think they could. Villanova.
You don't
Houston?
think Arizona? Did you say them?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. Gonzaga, Duke, Arizona, Houston, Villanova, Kansas, UCLA, Purdue.
I counted all the same ones except Houston.
Okay. Yeah, so Houston would be 8th for me, but maybe I'm just biased that they beat the team that I root for. They're going to be a fucking tough out for anybody that beats them.
I tried to tell you. Illinois couldn't beat them.
Hung with them.
They did.
Played a good game. 15 is not indicative of how badly they got beat.
Agree.
Hung with them.
Illinois was
Sucks. Sad.
thinking about making a run and got boned, to be fair. But
Worst technical foul I've seen in a
history.
decade. Maybe ever in basketball. No exaggeration.
yeah, I'll say 7.
Fucked up the vibes. Bad.
I don't know what it is. I'm hung up on Villanova. I just fucking love them.
I mean, they're a 2 seed. They've
I
got a
love-
pedigree. They've
they've-
won
outside of Colin
multiple
Gillespie,
national titles.
no one can name anyone on their team.
No. Samuels. They got a name. Samuels.
Daniels. They got Ills. A lot of
Just Archidiakono's brother.
true.
Comes off the bench.
I was gonna say Mark. That ain't it.
No clue what his first name is.
Maybe it's Mark. Mark. Call him Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one can name any of their players, but they're all basically clones. They can shoot threes. They're switchable. I just really like him. Great coach. Awesome point guard.
Don't have a big man. That's their downfall. But
Correct. Fuck it. It's modern hoop. You don't
Modern
need a big
hoop,
man.
positionless,
Positionless for shooting
positionless.
threes. So I'll take Villanova to win it all.
All right, that's bold. They're going to have to beat a lot of big men to get there. Okay, let's get to this fucking bracket. We've babbled enough about whatever
Yeah.
the fuck
Well,
we've
we
been
can do it
talking
quick.
about. So the bracket, best college basketball players of the 21st century. Our criteria was a combination of tournament success, individual success, accolades, personal preference to an extent,
Just
just
statistics.
overall ability. I mean, I don't think this is like the best in terms of
Right,
just
this
the,
is-
like highest quality.
We're-
You have to, the accolades have to be there.
We're very
Like
much
Kevin Durant is not on this list, but Kevin Durant is certainly better than a lot of the
All of
players on this list.
every player.
Yeah.
We're not taking into account any professional. Like, obviously, we've watched Kevin Durant.
And
Is one of the best
also
players of
Kevin
all
Durant
time.
was sick and won Naismith Player of the Year in
Yes.
college, so he has some
They didn't do
sort
anything,
of.
but we're trying to weigh tournament success as a team. Obviously, being a big part of that as a player as well, maybe a little heavier on the scale.
Yep. So I'm not going to run down the entire tournament. I think we'll just reveal the matchups as we go. How does that sound?
I like it.
Number 1 seed at home. Who do you think? I'll give you a pause. Say out loud who you think the number 1 seed, best college basketball player since the year 2000 is.
I already forgot. Oh,
Tyler Hansborough. And
Yeah.
if you read his resume, I think it absolutely speaks for itself.
it's mind blowing.
We were just talking about this. I don't understand how he was so good.
You watched a highlight video. He just got like offensive rebounds
It's
and dunked.
Dunks. It's just all dunks.
We have 16 players on this. In overall skill level, where does he rank in this? Like
Low.
bottom third?
Just like you said, in college, there's just guys that. And here's my thing. Having that ability to have that motor is in its own way a skill.
100%.
There are certain guys that their entire life could work and like train their mind, would never have the motor Tyler Hansborough has. highest motor in the history of college basketball.
Just an all-time nightmare to guard and cover.
Relentless as fuck.
It's
15th all-time in scoring in college basketball with seemingly no post moves or
no like perimeter game. Just like hustle.
Bashing you inside.
Just being a pest.
20 points, 9 rebounds a game for his career. Second team All-American, three-time first team All-American. So he was an All-American all 4 years, which is insane. Player of the year, 14 NCAA tournament wins, 2 Final Fours, 1 national championship. His best season, 23, 10, 54% from the field. Naismith Player of the Year.
Yeah, 81% free throws too is really impressive.
81% from the free throw line.
Just a nightmare.
Just
the person where when you break the huddle to go out for the game, you're like, who do you got? No one wants him.
I don't want 50.
Nobody wants him.
Don't want 50.
He's a nightmare.
He's
like the 100 percentile of like the psycho YMCA guy that just like is just a bowling ball and a pest and a try-hard, and just puts you in the rim.
He's the most college basketball player ever?
Yes. He's deserving 1 seed.
He's the guy that we were just talking about that's like, I'd rather have Tyler Hansbrough than Kevin Durant. I'd rather have Tyler Hansbrough than Blake Griffin. I'd rather look at the resume. Look at the stats. He's better. Maybe he kind of is.
He was
as a college. Yeah, he got drafted in the lottery.
Fine pro.
I think if he was a little less of a psycho, he would probably have played longer in the NBA.
Yeah, he played probably longer than people think.
Seemed like a bit of a literal psycho.
Yeah, he earned the nickname.
He's going up against the 16th seed Shabazz Napier, who, in his own right,
more titles than Hansborough.
More titles than Hansbrough. That's a fact. One of them, he played almost no minutes.
Yeah, freshman.
The first one, he was a freshman, didn't really play. That was Kimba's big run. 2 national championships, which he's one of the only guys on this list that can say that.
There's a few.
Yeah, not many. Not many.
One other.
One other. Yeah, maybe.
Just Brunson.
Yeah, I think just Jalen Brunson. Okay, first team All-American, 13-4-4 for his career, 18-6-5 in his best season. Shabazz was a nice player. I think him getting that title, which in its own way, they were an 8 seed. It was kind of a weird tournament. They played a 9 seed in the title game, albeit it was Kentucky. They did play Kentucky, who's,
What's Kevin Ollie doing right now?
I don't know. One of the weirdest meteoric sort of situations just came and went.
Yeah.
Don't know what he's doing now. Won a national title.
I think, obviously, he's not going to win. But
he was fun, and like
deserving
the thing is, like, I don't
be on the list. We'll get to some honorable mentions after.
I don't really remember anything about him.
His win was being in the bracket.
My biggest memory of him is LeBron telling the Heat to draft him, and then leaving the Heat once they drafted him.
Oh God.
LeBron's
an asshole.
Not a good GM. Bad at picking players for his team. Oh yeah, not great.
But one of the few with 2 national titles. Made a huge run.
Yeah.
Did they knock off any really great teams along the way?
I don't know. Probably.
I don't remember.
Probably. Someone at home, tell us who'd they be on the way. Any UConn fans?
But not overly impressive stats. Good 3-point shooter. First team All-American. Do you know if he played much prior to the national title year? He has.
Yeah, I think his sophomore. I think his sophomore junior year he was kind of a rotational player. Because Kimba's last year was his freshman year, and then I think he was probably the starter the next 2 or 3. I think he might have came out as a junior. I'm not sure.
Not overly impressive.
Great player.
Best year.
One of the 16 best college players of the last 22 years, which
deserving to be on the list. He made it over a lot of good players. So that was his.
Some NBA Hall of Famers.
That was his nod.
That's a nod.
Made the list. But you lose.
Up next, I think some people would argue this guy is seated too low. I would probably disagree. The other Kimba gave it away. The other UConn guard, Campbell Walker, against Anthony Davis in the 8-9 matchup. Anthony Davis has the best 1-year run of any college basketball player ever. And I'll lay it out for you.
Interesting. Please do.
His freshman year, he won the national championship. He won the Naismith Player of the Year. He won the College Most Outstanding Player. He won a gold medal. He was the first overall pick in the NBA draft, and he won Rookie of the Year in the same calendar year. No player has that combination of stuff in 1 year. It is the best 1 year run of any college player ever.
Are we counting the latter stuff as a part of the?
Well, no. You don't. I mean, I think him going number one kind of sort of counts, but it's just indicative of the type of player that he was at this time. I don't think it necessarily has to count, although I would say his run, as good as Kimba's was just as good, but he did it with defense, which is a little less memorable.
5 blocks per game is pretty daunting. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he was Bill Russell-esque. I remember there was all the time, there were stats that's like him and Bill Russell, only people that have ever done this.
Not overwhelming other statistics.
No,
for
they
as
had
dominant of a player.
They had other good scorers. I mean, that's the thing. They just
was.
had a super stacked team. And
Yeah, they lost one game.
Yeah, they were incredible. They were unstoppable. He didn't need to score. They had Duran Lamb and Darius Miller to knock down threes at a staggering rate. He protected the back line, caught lobs, dunked the ball a lot. Campbell Walker, most memorable run of maybe any of these players on this list.
I think I lean Kimba here. Obviously, Anthony Davis is a much better player.
Yes.
We know the trajectory that he's been on. Statistically, was better in his final year, 23.5 points per game. National champion. Obviously, both were the best players on those teams, but the pie that he took of the UConn basketball team is much larger than Anthony Davis. Obviously, one loss, buzzer beater against Indiana. They were an awesome team, favorites the entire year. Never a doubt. Kimba carried, for lack of a better word, carried that team to a title, was a much bigger part of that. And I think if we're talking Wayne tournament runs, Wayne tournament play more so in this because of the time of the year that we're doing it, I think I would lean Kimba here for the impact that he had in the tournament, both first team All-American. I don't know who won Player of the Year this year, the year Kimba senior or last year.
Not positive.
But he didn't win that, but scored many more points. He was relied on more by his team, so I'll lean Kimba.
Okay. Sure.
5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals per game. Doing other things. They have a fucking hell of a stat line, honestly.
Yeah. Kentucky, they had to beat Louisville and Kansas. That's a tough road. UConn got a few breaks along the way with their draw, but they still won all the games.
Do you know if Davis played particularly well in any of those games?
He won most outstanding player, so he didn't play poorly. I don't have his stats in front of me specifically. UConn did get to play Butler in the championship game. That was
good draw.
If we did a bracket of worst national title games ever, that would be way up there. I remember that game. It was
50 to 45.
It was awful. Some of the worst you'll ever fucking see.
Butler went to
back-to-back national championship games.
That's
pretty tough.
That's fucked up.
Pretty tough.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, pretty good.
Because I was saying that. I was like, wait, they played Duke. Wait.
Back-to-back years. National title game. Whoopsies.
Yikes.
Pretty good. Second one didn't have Gordon Hayward. Nuts. Yeah, I'll agree. We'll move Kimba on. I think as a college basketball player, we'll give him his shine. Anthony Davis, better NBA player. I think Anthony Davis's run was maybe better, but we'll give it to Kimba.
Cardiac Kimba, dude.
It was good.
Remember
it was
the step
fun.
back? Remember the step back?
Dude, he made that guy for Pittsburgh fall.
He fell.
He did fall.
All right, next matchup.
Next matchup, maybe the 2 best shooters on this entire list.
Some are saying.
J.J. Reddick against Jimmer Fredette, the 5'12". I think J.J. Reddick was the first great college basketball player other than an Illinois player that I really remember.
Did you hate him?
A little. I think so. I feel like when we were kids, you were either an Adam Morrison kid or a J.J. Reddick kid. You're one or the other. And I was definitely more of an Adam Morrison kid. I love the stash. I love the swag. I love the weirdness.
Same. I was for sure more of a Morrison guy.
Yeah, and I mean, you grow up to hate Duke. You're kind of built to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if I
I thought JJ Reddick was fucking sweet.
Yeah, I thought he was really, really good. I don't think I hated him, but I think it was just Duke. I just didn't like Duke.
Yeah.
And also, I had a teacher and coach that was a Duke fan.
They were probably really cool about it.
Yeah, they were. He was not cool about it.
How does he feel about Big Baby Davis crushing JJ Reddick's dreams?
Probably not great.
And Tyrus Thomas.
I wonder if it keeps him up at night. Hope so.
I think it keeps JJ Reddick up at night from what I hear.
No doubt.
He remembers his stat line vividly from his last college game.
Are we gonna take that into consideration that he choked like a dog?
He did. Well, Jimmer Fredette never even got that far, so
that's true.
That's something to consider.
That's the matchup that we're talking about.
JJ, 20th all-time in scoring, 20 points per game, 40% from three for his career, 2-time first-team All-American, won a National Player of the Year, 10 NCAA tournament wins, made it to one Final Four. Best season his senior year, 27 a game, 3 assists, 42% from three, 86 from the free throw line.
So many points a game.
In the ACC, that's unbelievable.
That's so many points a game.
In the ACC,
who did they lose to in that Final Four?
LSU.
Oh,
in the Final Four, I don't remember. He was a freshman that year, so take that with a grain of salt. He did play a lot. He was on the team and contributed, but I don't remember. Not sure.
Yeah.
So his senior year would have been 06, so that would have been 02. Maryland,
was the year after they
maybe?
won.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Dude, you're supposed to know this.
Yeah, I need to know this.
I don't do years. You got it.
Yeah, I don't know. JJ Redick was really sick.
I forgot Jimmer Fredette won Player of the Year.
He did. He was incredible. Jimmer Mania. Jimmer Magic. He's 41st all-time in scoring, one Player of the Year, 18 points a game for his career. Only 30% from three, which is staggering and shows you he was a bit of a gunner.
I am not a Jimmer guy.
Even in the moment, what was your... I loved him. I loved him.
I wasn't like super against, but yeah, I just thought he was a gunner and not that good, and it was just like a bit, like a novelty.
It was like a fun gimmick. Yeah. I certainly never viewed him as like the best player in college basketball, but he was a gunner. He was not that good. He was the first person, even before Steph, that I remember shooting from that deep range. He was the first guy that was pulling up from way, way out there that I can really recall.
Yeah. Yeah. He was...
Man, there were some of those late night...
I got bad news for you. They're bad shots.
Mountain West games that
shots.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he had some crazy games. He shot it.
He had that tourney run where they beat Florida, which was a sick game.
Yeah.
He went crazy. Jimmer was a lot of fun. Jimmer, a little overrated. Obviously, JJ Redick was a much better player.
Yeah.
Moving on, JJ Redick. We got to get through these. Okay. We just talked about it. Adam Morrison up next is the 13 seed, going up against another Dookie, Shane Battier. Shane Battier is a guy that I think you sort of forget about, but if you dive into the resume, you dive into everything he did.
The resume is
not
ridiculous.
Much that he didn't accomplish.
This is Battier not even close.
Yeah, it is.
I think Battier at 4 is maybe underseeded.
I don't know. The other three people are very deserving, very good players. But
who's he up against?
He's up against Adam Morrison. He's going to beat Adam Morrison. For his career, 14-6, 41% from three, played 4 years, second team and a first team All-American. So only 2 All-American teams. 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, 42% from three, Naismith Player of the Year his senior year. 16 NCAA tournament wins, 2 Final Four appearances, and 1 national title.
Very much incredible resume. Ridiculous. Very much like Anthony Davis, though. Very good teams. Extremely good teams.
Yes. The best. Some of the best. These teams were on our bracket of best teams of all time.
Yes.
Well, no.
That
was best teams that didn't win. He wasn't on one of those because he won. The 02 team was on there. He graduated in 01. They won in 01. 02, they should have gone back-to-back and did not.
Yeah. But an incredible resume. 20-7 as the best season is more than respectable. 2 Final Fours, 1 once. Player of the Year. Really all you can ask for. 2 All-Americans, 1 first team. I mean, incredible resume. Not much more to say.
It's hard for me to imagine.
I was
after watching
really
his
surprised.
NBA career to imagine he was that dominant of a player in college
Yeah.
and that effective of a scorer. And obviously he was a great NBA player, really good, great role player, awesome defender, awesome shooter. I just can't imagine him being that effective as a creator, but he obviously was. And he played with like Jay Williams and some really solid dudes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The resume, it's tough to beat. Shane Battier has got as good a resume as anybody on this list.
I think it's a pretty easy one, although special shout out Adam Morrison.
Have to talk about Adam Morrison, one of my favorite college players of all time. We talked about Jimmer. Adam Morrison is one of my favorite college players of all time. To this day, I think he has an NBA career if he gets drafted by a different team. I don't think he's an all-star or anything. He should not have been the 3rd overall pick. I think he was good enough to be an NBA player.
Bobcats?
I think he kind of got fucked up. I think he probably had a little confidence issue, a little sports psychology issue.
Also, really, I don't know when Few got there. Really the guy that started it all.
Yes. You had like Dan Dickow before him, and they were like kind of okay, but really put Gonzaga on the map. Mark Few was there before. Adam Morrison got there. He made Gonzaga a thing. All this shit now, if they win, fucking, he is the absolute pillar. He's the foundation that started what Drew Timme is doing now.
No question.
He made Gonzaga cool.
He first little drop of blue blood was when Morrison was dropping 28 a night.
One of the most iconic moments in college basketball is him crying on the court in that UCLA game too. Speaking of bad collapses, that's a rough one. They lost that game.
Yeah.
They were up by a lot, and they gave up like a 12-point lead in like 3 minutes or something, I think. Yeah. Not great.
Tough scene. 43% from 3. Dude was just so fun to watch.
28 a game. I remember his senior year, or whatever this was, his junior year, I guess, because he left after his junior year. In that Maui tournament, they won the whole Maui tournament, and he was blistering hot. They played Michigan State. He scored like 44, and Michigan State was like number 2 or 3 in the country or something. He was unguardable.
I was going to say the same, but just, yeah, blistering hot sometimes.
But
good times.
Didn't win the National Player of the Year. Only made it to a Sweet 16. The guy that beat him for the Player of the Year, J.J. Reddick, obviously a higher seed. So Shane Battier, the number 4 seed, got to move him on.
Moving on. Love Adam Morrison, though.
Love Adam Morrison. Shouts out to Adam Morrison. Shane Battier.
If you're listening, hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
One of my first basketball loves. Really just couldn't get enough.
Seriously.
One of my favorite players ever to watch.
Okay. The 3 seed, the guy that maybe we think Shane Battier should be over, maybe not. Jalen Brunson going up against
another. He's having a pretty good NBA career so far.
Solid.
Really contributing for the Mavericks. But a sneaky, incredible resume.
Yes. Unbelievable resume. As good as it gets.
We mentioned the two Villanova championships. A part of both of those. Player of the Year for his career, 14 and 4, 3 rebounds. His best season was 19 a game, 5 assists, shot 40% from just so Villanova. Just incredible. It feels like they've had Jalen Brunson for like 15 years, or just the next
they've had a slightly worse Jalen Brunson for a long time.
Yeah, it does feel like Gillespie's been in college for like a decade, but he just handed the baton off so great, and he's incredible. First team and second team All-American. Sneaky, amazing. There's a reason I was a little hesitant to make him he's the 2 seed, right? He's the 3 seed, but you just can't argue. I mean, he's just got.
The 2 national titles puts him over the top. And if there's one guy on this list that I need to build my program and win fucking games, I'm taking Jalen Brunson over a lot of people on this list. He's not the most talented. He's one of the most skilled, sneaky, quiet as it's kept, but as rock solid a player as anyone on this list.
Winner.
He's going up against another guy who has a really good resume. Big man, Emeka Okafor, UConn legend. I took Emeka Okafor. I took Caron Butler. They're not bad players.
They're not bad players.
Jim,
I fucked up.
I fucked up. You want me to say I fucked up? Shout out to Jim Calhoun. If you want to come on the podcast,
You're welcome anytime.
welcome
You can actually take my spot.
Yeah, you can. It can be your
It could be
podcast
yours.
if you want it.
Yeah.
The Jim Calhoun Show. I
My
would
biggest
listen to
memory
that.
of Emeka Okafor is him being on the cover of the video game
Yeah, he was on that. Let's go through the.
after they won. Yeah.
Yes, he was. It was a good run. They won in 04. 14, 11, and 4 blocks a game for his career. Played 3 years, was a first-team All-American once. 18, 11, and 4 blocks in his best year, his All-American year, his junior year. 11 NCAA tournament wins and 1 national title. He was right there in that, 01 to 06 or 7 run where UConn was as
What
big
was
of a blue
going on?
blood as any team in the country. They were a 1 or 2 seed basically every single year. I think
What year did they lose to George Mason?
06. That would have been 2 years after he was gone.
That kind of ran the wheels off of the UConn train.
Yeah, you say that, and then they won a national championship 5 years later. But
Did they really?
yeah, Kimba won in 2011.
Oh, yeah.
And then they won
have
again
2.
with Shabazz. And then they won in
But
04, and then they
those
won
were-
in 01.
Those were not as 1 seed blue blood
No,
front
yeah.
runners.
Yeah.
That was different.
But still,
It felt
yeah,
obviously
it's the
they
same
won,
thing.
so it's
No, different feel, different vibe.
definitely a different vibe.
They were not the favorite. They were not the heavyweight champ of the world that George Mason's would be happy in upsetting.
Yeah.
Like this team was.
Yeah.
Like this 04 UConn team is sneaky one of the better college teams
I don't know who else was on it.
of this time frame. They were very nasty. Let
else
me
is
make
on that
sure.
team?
03, 04. I'll run it down for you. They had Ben Gordon, Emeka Okafor, Charlie Villanueva, Josh Boone, Hilton Armstrong, Marcus Williams. He never made it in the NBA, but he was an incredible college point guard that I was for sure was going to be sick in the NBA. He got drafted in the first round and just played 1 year in the league, I think. But I was convinced he was going to be incredible.
Charlie
But,
Villanueva.
Yeah, Ben Gordon and Emeka Okafor. That's a disgusting combo in a college basketball team. Ben Gordon went 3rd that year. Emeka Okafor went 2nd, I think, or something like that. So one of the best college
He also went
teams
to
of all
Charlotte,
time.
didn't he?
Who? No, he went to the Bulls.
No, not Ben Gordon. Okafor, where'd he go?
He got drafted to the Bobcats.
Yeah, Bobcats.
Yeah. Correct. He got drafted to the Bobcats. Fun fact, he beat out Dwight Howard for Rookie of the Year that year. And then the rest of their
That is a
career,
fun fact. Really?
Dwight Howard had the better career probably than Emeka Okafor.
Yeah.
I think you would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Emeka Okafor, Rookie of the Year. People forget. Say all that to say,
I don't think this
I think
really
he
stands out as he deserves to be on it, but I don't think he's
I think the 11 NCAA tournament wins is a lot.
it's a
I think
lot.
the consistent winning is a lot. I think the 4 blocks per game is very impressive.
Yes.
I think you have to view bigs a little different. They're not going to score as much,
That's
and
true.
they're going to rebound and block shots more, which is in its own way just as valuable. But Jalen Brunson's the guy here. Jalen Brunson won a Player of the Year. And
2 national titles.
Emeka Okafor only won 1 national title, did not win National Player of the Year. So Brunson moves on.
Fair.
We have 3 first-round matchups left. Another guy that some people at home might be a little young to remember, but had a great run, was J.J. Redick's worst fucking nightmare. Juan Dixon, Maryland Terrapin, 02 national champs, one of the best guards to ever do it. Super good player against Dougie McBuckets. This, we might get an upset, I think. I could be talked into an upset here. Dougie
This is a
McBuckets
tough
is the
one.
6. I think we might have overseeded Dougie McBuckets a little bit, although the winning resume is not great. The stats
The statistical, he
for
played
Doug,
at Creighton. He's never gonna.
3 of those years were Missouri Valley Creighton. Only one of them was in the Big East.
That's true, but the scoring is
6th all time.
daunting.
6th all time is an aggressive amount of points. 3-time first-team All-American, Naismith Player of the Year, 21-8 for his career, 27-7, 45% from 3. His senior year, I believe. Never made it past the Sweet 16. I think made it to 1 Sweet 16. Other than that, I think lost in the first game every other year.
Do you ding him at all because his dad's the coach and he let him shoot every time?
He did. He made them, though.
Yeah,
Fun
he's pretty
fact,
good.
he made the shots
He's
also.
good. He's a good shooter.
The
Still
offense was
playing.
tailor-made. He's still making a lot of
Still
three-pointers.
in the NBA.
Still making a lot of jump shots. Great player. really good. I think we gotta let me give you the Juan Dixon.
Yeah, run it down.
Let me give you the Juan Dixon pitch here. He was a guard on the Maryland teams that beat Duke. There was like the rivalry of the early 2000s was Duke against Maryland. Juan Dixon, 2002, make a sort of miracle run, kind of, not really. It's obviously Maryland's not a team you expect to win the national title, so in that way it is. But they had, some NBA players. Chris Wilcox, if you remember him, he was on those teams.
Vaguely.
Steve Blake, every white person's favorite weird NBA guard of the last few years.
Yeah.
He was on that team. Juan Dixon, 16, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for his career. Was a first-team All-American, 13 NCAA tournament wins, which is a fuckload.
It's a lot.
2 Final Four appearances, 1 NCAA title. His best season, he went 25 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals a game, 90% from the free throw line, 40% from 3, first-team All-American.
Dixon.
I think I agree.
I think this seeds backwards.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. I think I'm going Juan Dixon.
Because
too.
he's obviously Doug has the longevity. He played 4 years and gunned a ton of shots, made a lot of those shots. The scoring, obviously, first team All-American 3 times, which is rare. I don't know how many. Hansbrough also did that.
Yeah, but almost no one else on this list has that.
But it's obviously an offense tailor-made for him in a.
Well, here's the thing. Do
mid-major.
this exercise. If you flip the players and they're getting the exact same volume.
Yeah, he scored. It's not that far off. He scored 20. What was it 21 in his best year? Juan Dixon?
Yeah, I mean, and Doug scored 28, which I think is a big gap.
27 and 7.
Yeah, he scored 20 in the ACC, which is very tough to do. Very good.
In like
the three steals a game is crazy.
Yeah, sneaky.
I'm moving on Juan Dixon.
Yeah,
I'm fine with
think
it.
it's 100%.
Next one. Maybe the best NBA player matchup on our tourney, Steph Curry against Carmelo Anthony. This is going to be a weird one to parse out.
I didn't realize that we had matched them up. I knew they were both in the bracket.
We'll run down the Steph Curry college resume. 30th all-time in scoring, 25, 5, and 4 for his career. Second team and first team All-American. 3 games.
That's wild
that
for
he
a
won.
career number.
Yeah, 3 in the NCAA tournament that he won. 1 Sweet 16 appearance was the farthest he ever made it. His best season, his junior year, 29 points a game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, 88% from the free throw line. First team All-American. Here's the thing. Steph Curry's great. You got to put the same logic on him that you put on Doug McDermott, though.
I agree.
He was the only guy shooting, the only guy taking shots. They never made it out of the Sweet 16.
Borderline gunner.
Yeah, absolutely was. He was Jimmer, but a little bit better.
Yeah.
Honestly, pretty similar to Jimmer, really. If you break down the college stats, you break down all the numbers, they'd probably parse out pretty similarly. Steph Curry, obviously a much better basketball player than Jimmer Fredette, but...
You think?
I think
close.
A little early to tell. I don't know if you're catching any Shanghai Sharks games, but he's killing it over there.
Here's what we have to decide what we're going to value more. Melo, obviously worse stats because they didn't play for Davidson and shoot every time. But 22 and 10 is nothing to...
In the Big East, at that
at.
time, you're playing...
Bizarre that he was a second-team All-American.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this first team.
Let's look it up. 2003.
He only played 1 year, so that's what we have to decide. He played 1 year, took him to a national title. Steph Curry is like the cultural tournament darling, scored all the points, beat the big bad teams. I just
played 3 years, only 1 year for Melo. Is him and AD the only one and done guys we have on this list, I think?
Katie didn't make it. Yeah, I think so. Morrison. Yeah. But 22 and 10 is not that far off of Steph when you consider the conferences that they did it in and the volume that they both shot at.
Mm-hmm.
Took him to a national title. I think this has to be Melo.
Yeah, the very similar to the AD thing as a awesome 1 year run. Wasn't the number 1 pick, didn't win Rookie of the Year, but other than that was very similar. Played in the Olympics the year after.
Davis won Player of the Year, I assume.
Yeah, he won it. He won Naismith Player of the Year, which is why he's seated higher than these people.
Doesn't have a first-team All-American. Didn't win Player of the Year. 22-10. Obviously, no blocks or steals like Davis had, but better numbers there. National title. Yeah, I don't.
If we're going individual tournament runs, he's one of the best on this list. That's dominant, pillar to post, carried him to a national title.
But then you have the overall 3 years of volume from Steph where the numbers are just going to be within half the tournament wins. Obviously playing at Davidson, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're playing at Davidson. If he plays at Syracuse, maybe it's a little different. It's hard to say. You want this first-team All-American list?
I do.
David West, Dwayne Wade, Josh Howard, Nick Collison, TJ Ford are first team. I don't know how good Josh Howard was. I liked him in the NBA. He kind of petered out, but probably not that deserving. I don't know. Whatever. Good players, though. David West won National Player of the Year that year. So if you're wondering who won National Player of the Year,
school?
Xavier.
Oh, yeah.
This is a tough one.
I don't know.
This is just an absolute philosophical
We need to decide
dilemma.
what we're going to value more.
Well, what have we valued so far? It seems like we valued winning. We got Dixon, Brunson, Battier, Reddick, Kimba, Hansborough. The national title seems to be what we value here. Steph Curry had a sick tournament run. Melo had a sicker tournament run. Melo,
If Carmelo
with
Anthony
the
played for
with the
Davidson-
multiplier of playing in the tougher league, their numbers really are kind of similar. Steph Curry played longer.
If Melo played at Davidson,
Melo. The answer's Melo. We're moving on Melo.
I agree.
Get fucked.
I don't like it. I don't like it any more than you do at home. But it's Melo.
It's Melo.
Stay
It's
Melo.
Melo. Do we hate mid-majors? Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Looks like it. Two of the best point guards on this list match up at the 215. Ty Lawson and Jay Williams. There's an obvious winner here, but
Yeah.
we got to talk about Ty Lawson. One of the best point guards that I can remember watching in college basketball. A guy, you want to talk about blistering pace, a guy whose speed completely changed the game and could change the tempo, control the game, get up in you defensively, run the show on offense, was the quickest first step you'll ever see. Literally, I'd put him up there with anybody. Iverson, anybody. Quickest first step, hardest guy to stay in front of. Ty Lawson is absolutely up there.
For my dumb brain, I would like to, we talked about this before, I would like to make it Ty Lawson / Raymond Felton for my dumb brain.
Ty Lawson, you do. Ty Lawson, much better than Raymond Felton.
I just
fuck
can't,
Raymond Felton.
Can't figure him out.
Yeah.
There's like
Ty Lawson, really good. Raymond Felton, less good.
Okay, that'll help.
Raymond Felton, fat. Ty Lawson, not fat.
Yeah. Okay, that helps.
Raymond Felton ruined my childhood. Ty Lawson just played at North Carolina.
Okay. That makes sense. That helps. 2 Final Fours, 1 national title. Not crazy. 7 assists a game is
13
is
tournament
good.
wins is a lot.
A
7
lot,
assists.
Ton.
I don't know what his steals numbers are. We don't have them on here. I imagine they're kind of high. 17 and 7. 7 assists in college, like you said. That's a ton in his best season. No first-team All-Americans, though. 47% from 3. I imagine that is not on a lot of attempts. I cannot imagine.
I agree.
He was shooting 47% of volume.
And he played with
of any
Hansbrough.
kind.
He
Yes.
played on the same team.
Yes.
So those Final Fours and title, the same as Hansbrough. Obviously not the best player on that team. So he's not going to win this matchup.
You got a bit of a Stockton-Malone. It's like, is Malone getting all the points because Stockton's assisting to him, or is Stockton getting all the assists because Malone's finishing it all?
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like we're valuing Tyler Hansborough here a little bit more, and it looks like everyone else valued him a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Ty Lawson making the list was his win, as was the 16
I think
seed.
we can go through the other people we were considering.
Yeah.
You could argue whether he should have been on here or not. We decided to put him in. I think he's an iconic college player of this era. He's going up against Jay Williams, the iconic player. We were talking about resumes. He's up there. He's up there on this list with the best going. 19 and 6 and 4 for his career. 2-time first-team All-American. 10 NCAA tournament wins. 1 national championship. That's the only Final Four, I think, actually. Naismith Player of the Year. His best season in his sophomore year. 22-6, 43% from 3. National Player of the Year. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
22 and 6 in the
Got drafted
ACC.
number 2 overall.
Number 2 overall. What could have been?
Got in a motorcycle
What could have been?
accident?
Got in a motorcycle accident, had to retire.
Never the same.
Sad stuff.
Yeah. There's a reason he's a 2 seed. We don't need to talk about that much. Honorable mentions, we can talk more about.
We'll talk about that when we're done.
And who else we considered. But
Jay Williams, moving on. Okay, second round. Hansboro Kimba. What's your case for Kimba? Do you have one? Does it exist?
It would be the same thing that got him through the first round. Who was he against in the first round? It was a tough one. It was the 8-9.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing, but he just doesn't. Hansbrough also just did those things.
Yeah.
So he just can't. He just did them at a higher level and for longer.
The All-American all 4 years is insane to me.
That's wild. I didn't realize that either.
I can't imagine there's hardly any modern basketball players that have done that.
No.
Since, like, fucking Kareem.
No.
I mean, I can't think of any. I mean, obviously, in this list, since 2000, he's got to be the only one that was an All-American for 4 years.
Yes, there was one that was 3.
I don't even know about that. Maybe. I don't know if there was another one that was 3. Could have been, but I'm not sure.
Maybe Reddick or...
Reddick might have been. That's a good call. I don't know.
No one else 4.
2-time first team for Reddick. I don't know if he was ever second team. I don't think so.
Okay.
4-time All-American is fucking
Doug.
absurd. Oh, yeah. McDermott was 3 times. Okay, you're right. But Hansbrough, 2 Final Fours and a national title.
Yeah, he just did everything that Kimba did. He just did it better on the college level. You can argue that Davis, he just did it in just a short period of time, one and done. Better stats, but that's just not the case for Hansbrough. He just has to move on.
Yep, has to be Hansbrough. This is an interesting one. Maybe it's not. J.J. Reddick, Shane Battier. I think there's just the nugget of the national championship is what puts Battier over the top.
Very similar. I mean, statistically, you can go with Reddick. He was on, obviously, worse teams. They didn't win.
I would say, in that sense, they were worse teams, but yeah, even on paper, they were probably worse, actually. Less NBA players, too.
He was the centerpiece of the offense, at least scoring-wise. I mean, he played with...
Who's a more iconic college basketball player? And I think
Reddick.
It's tough for us to say. I feel like people that are a little older than us remember Shane Battier.
Yeah, they might. I don't remember him playing in college.
I don't think he was as big a deal as J.J. Reddick was. J.J. Reddick was... I mean, no one talks about Shane Battier in the Christian Laettner debate. Everyone talks about J.J. Reddick in that same breath. J.J. Reddick is quintessential Duke. He is the Duke guy. Him and Laettner really are the two.
I would agree. No one else is really in that conversation.
No. So, more iconic J.J. Reddick. Better player, I got to go Battier. I don't know. I don't know
either.
I don't know. Reddick as an individual, I think at the college level.
He was better. At the college level, Reddick was better, I think.
Could affect winning more. Battier was a better defender. Battier did more things outside of scoring the ball. Because now past because they're both player of the year.
Who else is on Battier's teams? It's like Boozer and Dunleavy and like those guys?
I think Jay Williams, his senior year, was his point guard, so that helps. Let's take a look.
Put J.J. Reddick in Battier's place. Do they win a championship? Are they better?
No, definitely not better. I don't think. Probably not. They're good still. Probably still really good. But the defense...
He did things that...
The other thing is they just play different positions.
Winning.
So it's like you take him out, someone else has to play that position, and J.J. Reddick doesn't play that position. He's not a forward. Okay, this fucking ad won't go off my goddamn fucking screen. I would try to tell you. Nope, not what I want. Okay, he had good players. He had better teammates than J.J. Reddick, I think.
Sheldon Williams? You kidding me? Josh McRoberts?
Shavlik Randolph? Look him up, dude.
Yeah. Check the highlight tape. Check YouTube. Try YouTube. You heard of that? I don't know on this one, honestly.
Fuck, this is tough. Fuck, man.
They both won Player of the Year.
The
title, we've been
played with Elton Brand.
Been value in winning.
Elton Brand, good. Number 1 overall pick. Ever heard of him?
I know we've been valuing winning thus far.
We have been.
I think it's
the
Reddick.
title.
I think it's Reddick.
Played with Corey Maggette NBA player. Ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Ever heard of Corey Maggette?
Maggot?
Big biceps on Corey Maggette.
Like to lift.
Jumped really high.
I think it's Reddick.
Jay Williams, Carlos Boozer, Mike Dunleavy, Shane Battier. That's good. That's help.
Some of the best teams
That's
of
good
all
help. That's good help. Yeah, 1999-2000 Duke. How did they not win the national championship? We'll never know.
Shame.
Impossible. Reddick, get fucked, Shane Battier.
I
Don't
agree.
give a fuck. Jalen Brunson, Juan Dixon. This is
really. These are like Spider-Man meme. I don't know.
You're me and I'm you. You're me and I'm you.
I really don't know on this
Brunson's
one.
got the extra title. The
I don't
peak
remember
season's a little
Juan
worse.
Dixon playing.
They played kind of similar. He was less of a lead guard and more of a shooting guard. Like Steve Blake was the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was super fast, super quick, get to the basket, shoot the three pretty well. Good defender. I think it's Brunson though.
Yeah, the best season statistically are quite similar.
Brunson's got the pedigree.
Has the pedigree, has the winning. Yeah,
It's Brunson.
Yep.
It's Brunson. Melo J. Williams. You can't beat J. Williams as a one-year player.
No, I agree. This is the Davis. This is the AD Kimba.
Yeah, but
just even worse.
Even worse. This is gonna make JJ Reddick sick. Hansborough, JJ Reddick. Hansborough's just gonna win this whole fucking bracket.
Yeah, it's just gonna be so. It's just gonna be so tough.
It's gonna be impossible to, because even in the same way, you could go both ways. That he absolutely affected winning and was incredibly valuable. It's not to take away. You can be not as skilled and still be the most valuable player on the court because he does all the things you need to win. He is going to grab every rebound. He blocked a lot of shots. He shot incredibly efficient. Skill or no skill, most of his shots went in the basket. That's really all that matters.
And had no weakness at the free throw line. You couldn't take a
great free throw shooter.
Couldn't hack him and take him away.
It's Hansbrough.
It has to be.
It's Hansbrough. It has to be.
2 Final Fours, 1. Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, Jay Williams. This is interesting. I think Jay Williams may be a more talented player, but Jalen Brunson maybe had a better career.
I agree. I think
Jalen Brunson
into an upset
had
here.
the one letdown the year, so they won, and then they got upset in the second round, and then they won again. So he had a letdown. Jay Williams also had a letdown, but they at least made it to like the Elite Eight before they had their slip up in whatever that was, 02.
Mm-hmm.
So
slightly better peak statistically overall. First and second team, I think Jay Williams was a 2-time first team All-American, right?
I believe you're correct.
So he has a slight leg up on him there. Both won Player of the Year. I think this is probably the closest matchup of them all.
Yeah.
I think it's Jalen Brunson.
I think it might be too.
I think they're incredibly similar across the board.
That's tough. God, that's tough.
As the leader of the team, the point guard of the team, the 2 national titles, and it's not like we just went through Battier's and the stars that he had around him at Duke. Those are the teams that Jay Williams is playing on. Same situation, tons of stars.
I will say,
Villanova teams were awesome.
DiVincenzo,
very good.
Michael Bridges, Omari Spellman,
the guy that jumps real high, the chubby face, Pascal,
Eric Pascal. You run down the list.
I mean, it's not the heavy hitters.
When you're looking, you're like, whatever. And you look now about how many of those guys are in the NBA. You're like, it's a lot.
Not the heavy hitters that were at Duke, though. Dunleavy, Boozer, Battier. Come on.
Yeah. Battier is the one that he's the big guy in that group. But like Dunleavy and Boozer, I think his weapons are similar to those two. Like Mikal Bridges was sick in college. Josh Hart, forget about Josh Hart too, was also on those teams.
Yeah.
They were stacked as fuck.
Good. Yeah, they were.
DiVincenzo, sick in college. He was most outstanding player in the second one.
Yes, remember when was that
tournament.
the title game or the Final Four when he just went nuts?
National title game went ballistic.
Yeah, that was cool. Made him a lot of money.
Yeah, rightfully so. He's a good player.
I think it's Jalen Brunson.
Here. Can I give you an argument?
Yes.
Jay Williams was more important to his teams than Jalen Brunson was to his. Jay Williams,
I thought we just argued the opposite.
was the better player. Was just a better straight-up player as an individual. That's more my argument. Not that he's more important, but it's just a better overall player, maybe?
That's probably just a fact, yeah.
Just a more talented basketball player than Jalen Brunson?
Statistically, and just probably just
more explosive,
just
tougher to defend.
Yeah. That's probably a fact.
Brunson, I think.
I think it's Brunson. I think it's close enough everywhere that Jay Williams has an edge on him. I think it's close enough to outweigh it with the second championship.
Yeah, I would agree.
Extremely close. The closest matchup of the bracket. And this, speaking of close matchups.
Plays Archdiacono also.
True.
Sick college player.
NBA, pro.
Bulls legend.
Chicago Bull.
Hansborough, Jalen Brunson. We valued winning, it turned out. It looked like we valued winning. We valued winning a lot of games in the tournament.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year. It's March. I want the guys nuts on the table are going to get it done. Who do you want in the foxhole? I want both of these guys in the foxhole. Bad.
Would a team of Jalen Brunson and Tyler Hansbrough and 3 random people ever lose?
In college, they wouldn't lose a lot, I don't think. I would take my chances.
Yeah.
I would absolutely take my chances. Give me 3 Doug Edderts, and I think we're good.
Unbeatable.
Yeah, we're good. We'll get it done. One way or another.
So
that's the other thing. Like, talent aside, just the pure willpower of these two players, they will refuse to lose those games.
Yeah. So they both won Player of the Year.
Hansborough's stats are better. Absolutely better.
Not a significant amount, but a wider margin than Jay Williams.
As a big, to have more points per game is significant, I think.
Yeah.
9 rebounds a game, that's a lot.
For his career, yep.
2 Final Fours, pretty good. Man,
I don't want to give it to Tyler Hansbrough.
I think the 2009 North Carolina team would probably beat both the Villanova teams. Thoughts?
Really? Who else is on the team? Lawson.
Wayne Ellington. They would have had Danny Green.
They're so nasty. Those 2 guys are still in the NBA.
Yes. Yes, they are. Let's get the full rundown of the 2009 Heels.
I'd love to see that matchup. That'd be fun.
Man, speaking of the Big Ten, talk about a year the Big Ten didn't have a chance to win the national title game. Michigan State played them that year. They lost by
Blew the
100.
doors off.
They lost by 100.
It wasn't
points.
close. Yeah.
No.
Man. You think they would have beat them?
Whenever we do best
Amari Spellman, are you kidding me?
Tyler, he's going to be tired.
Yeah, he would munch
Amari's
that up.
going to be tired.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. 89-72, kept it a little more respectable than I thought. Didn't feel that great. Wayne Ellington, Danny Green, Deion Thompson, Ed Davis, Tyler Zeller was a freshman. Bobby Frazier, remember him? He was a guard.
No.
He's a little white guard that played there.
Okay.
He was not that good.
I believe you.
Deion Thompson was a big forward that was pretty good. But yeah, Ellington, Lawson, Danny Green, Hansborough were the 4 leading scorers, and they had Ed Davis, who also
was
still
a pro
in the
for
NBA.
a while. What? Is he?
I'm pretty sure he's still in the NBA.
Oh my god.
He was like last year. He's like one of those guys that will always hang around because I've heard he's a great locker room guy.
Sure.
He's just like, we'll just leave you on the bench just because you're good vibes.
Rule number 1: be a good guy.
Just be a good dude. Be a good guy. Let's see.
If you can be something, be kind.
21-22, Cleveland. Played in 25 games this year.
Hell yeah, Ed. Cash a check,
Get
dog.
it fucking done.
Love that for Ed.
Get it fucking done.
I don't know, man. I think this is really close. They won twice.
Ed Davis is only 32 years old.
What?
Yeah. Pretty good.
He's a young man.
Yeah. He's a spry spring fucking chicken.
He's got a long time left in the league.
Yes. Yeah. Do it, Ed.
Where Hansbrough is better than Brunson, can it be made up with a championship? Is it close enough to where you can make it up with a championship? That's the question. It's the same question we have to Jay Wright. Jay Williams, not Jay Wright. Is it close enough? Is the statistical difference, is the extra 2 All-American teams, that's something that Jay Williams didn't have.
Here's the thing. He made it to another Final Four. He got close. It's not like they were losers the other 3 years. They were Elite Eight,
they
Final
had
Four,
another
deep
coin flip and
his
just
freshman
lost.
year, I don't think they made a very deep run. The other 3 years, they were like Elite Eight or deeper every year, I think. So it's not like he wasn't winning games. I think probably NCAA tournament victories, he probably has more or close to the same.
14 tournament wins. Brunson.
I don't know if I have it in there for Brunson because I had like a nice little list of 2000s players. I didn't have the same stuff for 2010s players. I'd imagine it's pretty fucking close, though.
Yeah,
if I had
that's
to
a
guess.
lot of wins.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're right.
Damn it. I don't want to give it to him.
Give to Hansborough?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this first title game, he scored 9 points a game that season. So he was not the best player on the team the first time they won. He was very much a role player. Archidiakono and Josh Hart and Chris Jenkins were the 3 leading scorers. So take that into account. Similar to the Shabazz thing we were talking about whenever they went up against each other. He played, but he wasn't.
Does it help that they
the
beat
guy.
Carolina?
They did beat Carolina. Didn't have Tyler Hansbrough on the team, but they did beat him.
Yeah.
One of the wildest college basketball games you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Then, he was 19 a game the second time they won, with definitely a better team than the first team that won.
I think it's Hansbrough.
Yeah.
Maybe if he played a bigger part in the first championship, you could give it to him. But he was just like a role player, if we're being honest.
Let's take a look at Tyler Hansbrough year by year.
First team All-American 3 times.
Let's see how deep of a run they made. Let's take a look at the squad. So his freshman year, they lost in the second round to George Mason. George Mason beat him. So
what a run.
What a run. They were an 11
Shout out
seed.
Jim Lerner.
We were talking about that earlier. Danny Green was a freshman that year. They were not great. 23-8, not bad.
Not bad.
Lost in the second round.
Okay.
06-07. So won once, lost in the Elite Eight his sophomore year to Georgetown, right? Or is that the Sweet 16? So first round, second round, Sweet 16. If you lose your fourth game, you lose in the Elite Eight, correct? Okay, lost in the Elite Eight his sophomore year, 31-7.
Okay.
Next year,
which he was
won
first team
second
All-American.
round, Sweet 16, Elite Eight, lost in the semifinal to Kansas, so that would have been the Mario Chalmers team that won the national title.
Beat
Memphis, so they lost in the Final Four that year, and then
to the champion.
He
First team
won
All-American.
the next year.
Player of the year.
And they won their first round game 101-58, 84-70, 98-77, 72-60, 83-69, 89-72. Was not a game within single digits the entire tournament.
Dominant.
An absolute piss missile of a fucking tournament.
Demolishing.
Demolishing.
I think it's
Demolition.
Hansbrough. I think we seeded it right. I think he's the number 1 seed for a reason. I think it's him.
Yep.
3-time first team All-American is wild.
Yes. I can't imagine. I mean, we'll probably see one again. It will be a special, special player if we see it again.
Just go pro.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just don't.
I am a little surprised he only won National Player of the Year once, to be honest with you.
I agree. Who won it? We'll finish on who won it those years.
Well, let's take a look. So J.J.
won it in his
Reddick,
senior
his
year.
freshman year won. 09, I assume Hansborough won, but let's take a look.
He won it his senior year, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I don't know that for
Who else
fact.
would have been in there? So the year Chalmers, would Rose have won it?
Probably.
His junior year? Who won the player of the year that year? And then his sophomore year, I'm not sure. After Reddick. After Reddick, Morrison.
Could have been Greg Oden, maybe. He got hurt, though. Probably not. I don't think those Florida guys, I don't think any of them ever won National Player of the Year. Let's take a look. 2009 so 2008. Oh, Hansbrough won his junior year. His senior year, Blake Griffin won Player of the Year.
Oh, okay.
So Blake Griffin was on the honorable mentions. He was fucking sick that year. The year he won National Player of the Year. Oh, Kevin Durant won 2007. So
who?
Kevin Durant, Texas.
Also honorable mention.
Forward. Let's run through the honorable mentions real quick. Tyler Hansbrough, greatest college basketball player of the 2000s. Since the year 2000, Hansbrough, number 1.
I hate to say it, but it's true.
Number 1.
Honorable mentions, Buddy Hield,
Yep.
TJ Ford,
Texas legend.
Andrew Bogut,
Andrew Bogut, mate.
Evan Turner. Evan Turner was an awesome college player.
He was.
Let's see.
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin, probably one of the better pros. We decided to leave off. Didn't really have any tournament success.
I think
Player of the year,
they made it
though.
to like a Sweet 16, but yeah. Super fun.
Dwayne Wade.
Super fun. Made it to a Final Four. He would have been close.
He was fringe. He was
would've been
right on
close.
the edge. Yeah. Zion.
One of the best individual seasons of anyone on this list.
Yep. Number one pick. Let's see. Draymond, Trey Burke, Russ Smith, Frank Kaminsky. I
Draymond,
think
one of the rare 2 Final Four appearances. of anyone on
I
this list.
think the fringe. Frank Mason, one Player of the Year. Let's see.
Kaminsky, 2 Final Fours and a Player of the Year.
Jameer Nelson, we didn't include. Kevin Durant, we didn't include. John Wall,
Jameer Nelson, also a Player of the Year.
Chris Paul, and that's it. I think the closest ones. Buddy Hield was kind of a gunner. We did do it in the Big 12.
Made it to a Final Four also.
Yeah, he had a good tournament run. I think he was in consideration for me. I never really considered TJ Ford or Andrew Bogut or Evan Turner, really.
Jameer Nelson, Ford, both won Player of the Year and made it to a Final Four. So I think they get a little bit of consideration there.
Like Durant and
Durant won Player of the Year, but I think the tournament success kind of is a detriment.
Durant
to
and
him.
Blake Griffin were kind of in the same camp for
Yeah.
me. Both won Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Both were awesome players, had awesome stats.
I would have
but
considered
just didn't
Draymond.
really-
Draymond was sick in college. Draymond was unbelievable.
Awesome player.
And if we
Two-time Final Four.
basically we valued winning games a lot, obviously he's one of the winningest
Draymond
players
Green.
in college basketball.
Winner.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Kaminsky, Player of the Year, was really awesome. Made it to a championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do anything else outside of that? I don't
Made it
think
to
they
the Final Four the year before that. Made it to 2 Final Fours.
A lot of good players on this list. A lot of were very close to the fringe, but I think we got the right group.
Yeah.
Whoever was in that last, like 14, 15, 16, probably didn't have much of a chance.
They weren't going to win anyway, but give or take.
Gave them the nod. All right, we've gone on a long time. We'll be back on Thursday. You want to talk baseball yet?
Yeah, is there any... Yeah, sure.
We'll talk something else
Something else.
on Thursday. Maybe we'll do a little bit more of a preview on these.
Yeah, we'll have some lines
This weekend?
maybe. Give some little bit of thoughts on the games coming up.
We'll quickly talk that and maybe some other sports stuff. Unsure yet.
We're going to have another fucking bracket for your ass.
We'll plan it out and give it to
I don't
you.
know what it's going to be.
Don't know what's going to be. Yeah, another bracket, non-tournament again. So we've gone on long enough on this one. Yikes. So we'll be back Thursday. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you then.
Bye.